Chapter 358. The Tianqing Alliance leader gazed down, while the ancestral demon tree did not intervene. The evil god battlefield quickly collapsed by a large part, finally turning to ash in the end. We won. We have finally won. We defeated the foreign evil god. We protected our homeland, the Tianqing world. Countless powerful beings of the Tianqing world had tears in their eyes, even the Tianqing Alliance leader, whose thoughts began to surge. For 100 years. A war that lasted an entire 400 years. It has finally come to an end. Duan Lang, let's go home. We're going home. Back to the place we used to live, Ian said joyfully by his side. Home? The Tianqing Alliance leader was silent for a while. Wait a moment. Even though the evil god battlefield is destroyed, the foreign evil god is still alive. I must leave the world sword here to prevent the return of that evil god. The Tianqing Alliance leader said somewhat reluctantly. As the wielder of the world sword, the Tianqing Alliance leader knew all too well how powerful this weapon was. Under normal circumstances, such a weapon should not even exist. Even if it did come into being, it had a great impact on the consciousness of the Tianqing world. But the threat of the foreign evil god to the Tianqing world was too great. That's why the Tianqing Alliance leader became the wielder of the world sword. Without the world sword, the Tianqing Alliance leader had little resistance against the foreign evil god. But with the world sword, he was able to fight back and forth with the ancestral demon tree. Leave the world sword here? Ian was stunned, looking at the Tianqing Alliance leader. Indeed, the world sword is a condensation of the consciousness of the heavenly Tao. Only by placing it here can it block all the methods of that foreign evil god. The Tianqing Alliance leader said with a nod. Ian, you go back to the world with the others first. I will set up the world sword and then join you, the Tianqing Alliance leader said. All right. Ian nodded and turned to leave. After Ian disappeared, the Tianqing Alliance leader looked at the world sword floating in front of him. Old pal, we must part ways. But if you detect any activity, notify me right away. Though he couldn't take the world sword with him, after so many years, the Tianqing Alliance leader had already refined a part of it. If he wished, he could sense the world sword at any moment, even summon it back to him. The world sword turned into a ray of light, engraved beyond the world. It's time I returned, the Tianqing Alliance leader sighed. He too flew toward the heart of the Tianqing world. At the edge of the Tianqing world, 12 Vice Alliance hierarchs, 4 Holy Beast Kings, 33 Protectors, 156 Elders, and 93 Demon Beast Kings were all standing there. Full of eager and exhilarated anticipation, they waited for him. Everyone. The Tianqing Alliance leader felt overwhelmingly emotional. Let's all return home. The Tianqing Alliance leader, leading his own forces, traveled along the golden light path toward the depths of the world. Along the way, countless beings of the Tianqing world bowed in worship. As a legendary figure who saved their world, the Tianqing Alliance leader very much enjoyed this sensation. As everyone passed the Black Mist Mountain range, one of the Vice Alliance hierarchs suddenly furrowed his brow and said to the Tianqing Alliance leader, Leader, I feel an unusual presence below. Oh! The Tianqing Alliance leader immediately took it seriously. This Vice Alliance hierarch was a 7th-rank peak expert, specialized in searching. Had it not been for his actions over the past 400 years, locating the foreign evil god's position, the casualties might have been far worse. Black Mist Mountain Range. The Tianqing Alliance leader looked down below. Let's go. Let's see what exactly is down there, the Tianqing Alliance leader said with a cold laugh, fearing nothing. He had repelled both the foreign evil god and the ancestral demon tree. Any unusual presence within the world, if not for passing by coincidence and the discovery being reported by a Vice Alliance hierarch he esteemed, the Tianqing Alliance leader probably wouldn't have given it a second glance. All right, we will follow the leader's orders. What kind of damned presence dares to reveal itself as we pass? It deserves death. The many powerful beings echoed. Then let's go down together, said the Tianqing Alliance leader with a nod, leading his subordinates towards the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range. According to that Vice Alliance hierarch, the location with the unusual aura was precisely at the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range. As they drew closer to the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range, the Tianqing Alliance leader's frown deepened. He vaguely sensed that the aura emanating from the deepest part of the range was somewhat strange, even bearing some similarity to that of the foreign evil god. This was a significant matter. The Tianqing Alliance leader's expression became grave. The previously relaxed expression on his face had disappeared. "Everyone, be careful," he cautioned his numerous subordinates. Shortly afterward, the Tianqing Alliance leader and his subordinates arrived at the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range. This was a valley with an ancient, evil presence subtly lingering around it. In the center of the valley stood an ancient tree with countless black vines hanging down. The foreign evil god. The Tianqing Alliance leader looked shocked. Having dealt with the ancestral demon tree for many years, he immediately recognized that this ancient tree was eerily similar to the ancestral demon tree. "Wait, no. It's not the foreign evil god," the Tianqing Alliance leader observed carefully. He was very familiar with the ancestral demon tree, and it was exactly for this reason that he was sure the tree before him was not the cruel and wild foreign evil god. "It's an offspring of the foreign evil god. Who would have thought that the one we missed over 100 years ago could have survived until now?" The Tianqing Alliance leader immediately breathed a sigh of relief, and a trace of killing intent appeared on his face. Over 100 years ago, the ancestral demon tree paid a huge price to pry open the world barrier of the Tianqing world, scattering hundreds of thousands of demon seeds within the world. The Tianqing Alliance leader was aware of this matter and had ordered a dedicated effort to deal with it, striving to eradicate all demon seeds. Experienced tales at Freeweb novel, however, he never expected that one of the demon seeds would survive and grow to such an extent. In a flash, the Tianqing Alliance leader sorted out the cause and effect. "Even your ancestor was repelled by me. What are you in comparison?" he thought to himself, his heart cold as he stared at the swaying ancient tree in the distance. At that moment, he saw Lin Yuan as dead for sure. Leading so many powerful beings, along with himself a 7th-rank peak existence, they would be able to resist even the true ancestral demon tree for some time. As for an offspring of the demon tree, Vice Alliance hierarch, "I'll leave it to you to take action and personally deal with this remnant of the evil god," said the Tianqing Alliance leader indifferently. Mr. Fong, the Vice Alliance hierarch who had noticed the unusual aura in the Black Mist Mountain range, possessed 7th-rank strength, nowhere near sufficient to confront the ancestral demon tree. But for an insignificant offspring, in the eyes of the Tianqing Alliance leader, there would be no problem. "Take action." Mr. Fong fell silent for a while, then gave a slight bow to Lin Yuan and said, "Master, what should we do now?" As these words were spoken, the atmosphere suddenly became eerily strange. The Tianqing Alliance leader's pupils shrank sharply. He had never imagined that his most trusted subordinate would call a remnant of the evil god their master. "Fong Zhengqing, how dare you?" The Tianqing Alliance leader roared in fury. His thoughts whirled rapidly, and scenes that had passed along the way flashed through his mind. Fong Zhengqing had discovered the unusual aura in the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range, then led them all here, and now Fong Zhengqing was addressing that remnant of the evil god as his master. That meant Fong Zhengqing had led them here with premeditation. "This isn't good. Everyone, retreat. It's an ambush." Predicting everything, the Tianqing Alliance leader's expression changed drastically, and he was about to instruct his subordinates to leave the area. But at that moment, Ayan, who stood behind the Tianqing Alliance leader and was his beloved confidant, gently lifted her right hand and placed it on the Tianqing Alliance leader's back. Thump. The Tianqing Alliance leader's expression changed dramatically. His vital energy visibly weakened at an alarming rate. The Tianqing Alliance leader turned around in shock to look at Ayan. "Ayan, you..." He could never have anticipated that his beloved woman would strike him such a fatal blow. "Ayan is also untrustworthy. You all must..." The Tianqing Alliance leader tried to suppress his injury and take off into the sky to flee with his remaining subordinates. In the next instant, The many subordinates whom the Tianqing alliance leader had protected stepped forward in unison, surrounded their leader, and their auras converged, pressing down upon him. You as well. The Tianqing alliance leader looked at his numerous subordinates, his face briefly showing a mix of confusion and shock, and a feeling of utter estrangement filled him to the brim. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 359. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain Range, the Tianqing alliance leader's blood surged with fury, almost driving him mad on the spot. The subordinates he trusted, the revered elders and masters, his sworn brothers, and the sweetheart he cherished, all of them had betrayed him at this moment. The Tianqing alliance leader was no fool. From the moment everyone surrounded him, an incredibly unbelievable thought sprang to his mind, that these people had all betrayed him and turned to the demigod progeny. But how could that be possible? Not to mention, what did the demigod progeny offer to buy over the subordinates he had nurtured over so many years? The critical question was, when did this happen? He still had no idea about it until now. A chill ran through the Tianqing alliance leader's heart as he looked at the numerous powerful beings surrounding him not far away. Just moments ago, they had still been respectful towards him, but now they were utterly cold, showing no sign of remorse on their faces. Do you all really know what you're doing? Unable to accept this, the Tianqing alliance leader spoke in a low voice. He wanted to ask why they sided with the demigod progeny, following him and enjoying the worship of countless beings in the Tianqing world. Wasn't that far better than siding with an evil god? The Tianqing alliance leader particularly fixed his gaze on Ian. This was his beloved, who, after repelling the foreign evil god, could stand atop all beings in the Tianqing world alongside the Tianqing alliance leader as he ruled. Others might have a slight possibility of betraying him, but why would Ian betray him? Full of expectation, the Tianqing alliance leader looked towards Ian, but what he received in return was only her cold gaze. Who are you, exactly? Read latest stories on Freeweb novel. The Tianqing alliance leader did not attempt to break out of the encirclement. Given the current situation where all his subordinates had betrayed him, and the instigator of it all, Lin Yuan, had yet to make a move, the Tianqing alliance leader knew the chances of breaking out alone were slim. If they dared to confront him directly, they must have made meticulous preparations. So what the Tianqing alliance leader needed to do now was to buy time, and then summon back the world sword. Free Webble. CM. Not long ago, on the evil god battlefield, the Tianqing alliance leader had left the world sword outside the world, to prevent any backlash from the foreign evil god. Actually, this wasn't a problem. Even racking his brain, he hadn't anticipated that his biggest threat wouldn't be the ancestral demon tree from outside this world, but Lin Yuan from within this world. Regardless, no matter what difficulties he faced, the Tianqing alliance leader believed that as long as the world sword was in hand, he could fear no circumstance. For the world sword was a world weapon that had been nurtured by the Tianqing world for countless millennia. The closer one was to the Tianqing world, the greater its power. If it were to be activated within the world, the Tianqing alliance leader was confident that even the ancestral demon tree in its prime wouldn't dare to confront him directly. At that moment, he would take back everything that was his. However, as the Tianqing alliance leader bought time, Lin Yuan wasn't unaware of it. It had taken him great effort to find a moment when the Tianqing alliance leader was separated from the world sword. He certainly wouldn't hold back. As the Tianqing alliance leader turned his gaze towards him, Lin Yuan immediately unleashed the Fiend God Gaze. This ability, derived from the ancestral demon tree and similarly potent in the hands of the demigod progeny, how could it be any less powerful when executed by Lin Yuan? Boom! The terrifying soul fluctuations swept across the area. The Tianqing alliance leader felt his thoughts shake and his consciousness slowly sinking. This is bad. The Tianqing alliance leader was startled, forcing his mind to concentrate, biting his tongue, and resorting to using a forbidden technique to regain his clarity. He immediately soared into the sky. From that brief encounter, the Tianqing alliance leader realized that staying to delay time was even more dangerous. The power of this move is hardly less than that of the foreign evil god. What kind of monster is this demigod progeny? The Tianqing alliance leader's scalp exploded. Doubts began to creep into his mind. Had he really repelled that foreign evil god who possessed such a demigod progeny? It made no sense. Generally, the strength of the progenitor far surpasses that of its progeny. The power of this demigod progeny he was facing suggested that its progenitor could easily obliterate the entire Tianqing world. Yet the reality was the opposite. The progenitor evil god, during the destruction of the evil god battlefield, didn't dare to show up. With such a powerful demigod at your disposal, why be so cowardly? The Tianqing alliance leader's thoughts surged wildly as he raced out of the Black Mist Mountain range. He had already started to recall the World Sword, just a little longer, and the Tianqing alliance leader hadn't finished thinking when he saw the sky and earth reversing, the power of space swirling around, forming a cage. Just as expected. Relying solely on the demon tree's abilities, it's still very difficult to completely detain you. Lin Yuan sighed lightly, his vines swaying as he manipulated the power of space, teleporting and pulling the Tianqing alliance leader back in front of him. Even without the World Sword, the Tianqing alliance leader was still at the 7th rank peak. Even for the ancestral demon tree at its peak, killing the Tianqing alliance leader would take considerable effort, and there was a chance he could escape. What kind of technique is this? Unlike Lin Yuan's Sai, the Tianqing alliance leader was thoroughly shocked. He had clearly escaped some distance just now, so how had he ended up back here? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 360. The power of space. The power of space can also be used like this. The Tianqing alliance leader's spirit shuddered, for at his level, he had naturally begun to comprehend space rules long ago. However, the foundations of the Tianqing world were limited, and the Tianqing alliance leader's comprehension of the space rules had always been like a blind man feeling an elephant. For the Tianqing alliance leader, his comprehension of space rules had no so-called foundation, no core space model to reference. He could only rely on himself. Erase a simple example. The dimensional assault brought by Lin Yuan from the exceedingly prosperous main world of the Human Civilization Alliance upon the Tianqing alliance leader. Ignoring the Tianqing alliance leader's shock, Lin Yuan shifted his gaze toward a certain direction. That was the direction where the evil god battlefield once existed, but now, a vast aura was rapidly approaching. Is it the World Sword? Lin Yuan had anticipated this. The Tianqing alliance leader, having wielded the World Sword for 400 years, definitely had an extraordinary connection to it. The Tianqing alliance leader facing mortal peril meant the World Sword moving on its own to protect its master was only normal, and still within Lin Yuan's expectations. It's too late. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. If the Tianqing alliance leader had summoned the World Sword back before entering the Black Mist Mountain range, he might have had the ability to contend with Lin Yuan. But now, even the World Sword, flying from outside the Tianqing world to the Black Mist Mountain range, would take at least a good half of an incense stick's time. In such a long time, the Tianqing alliance leader would have already been crushed and rounded by Lin Yuan. Of course, Lin Yuan also considered that the World Sword could traverse space, akin to teleportation, to get closer to the Black Mist Mountain range. Freebnol. Calm, but Lin Yuan had prepared countermeasures. The World Sword was indeed powerful, but it also needed its master to activate it. Without an active World Sword, its power greatly diminished, otherwise there would be no need for the Tianqing alliance leader to wield it. Why not just let it fight the ancestral demon tree directly? And with its power greatly diminished, Lin Yuan was confident he could delay the World Sword. Start the parasitic control. With just a thought from Lin Yuan, a dull gray seed began to fall, entering the spatial prison. And in the few breaths since, under Lin Yuan's casual attack, the Tianqing alliance leader trapped in the spatial prison was already severely wounded and dying. If Lin Yuan didn't have the idea of parasitic control, the Tianqing alliance leader would have died long ago. Is this parasitic control? No, the parasitic methods of the foreign evil god shouldn't be like this. The Tianqing alliance leader moaned in pain. At this moment, countless images flashed through his mind. His own subordinates, elders, and loved ones, inexplicably betraying him. So that's how it is. A look of realization appeared on the Tianqing alliance leader's face. So, they didn't betray him but were controlled by this spawn of the evil god. The Tianqing alliance leader's gaze showed relief, and in the next instant, the Tianqing alliance leader closed his eyes and bowed to Lin Yuan, saying, "I've seen the master. Parasitic control was successful." For 400 years, the Tianqing alliance leader had fought with the ancestral demon tree, possessing the strength of the 8th layer. But most of that relied on the world sword, and as for the Tianqing alliance leader himself, he was still at the 7th rank. Therefore, facing Lin Yuan, who had also reached the 7th rank peak and whose combat power was not much weaker than the ancestral demon tree, the Tianqing alliance leader naturally had no power to resist. "Master," the Tianqing alliance leader spoke respectfully. "Rise." Lin Yuan nodded slightly. To deal with this Tianqing alliance leader, Lin Yuan had made many arrangements and backup plans. For instance, he anticipated the possibility of the Tianqing alliance leader breaking out of the spatial prison. Even if the Tianqing alliance leader really did manage this, there were still more measures waiting for him afterward. "Can you still control the world sword?" Lin Yuan asked directly. Communicating with his own parasite, a direct inquiry was enough. "Master, I should be able to." The Tianqing alliance leader closed his eyes to sense for a while before nodding in reply. "Very good." A smile appeared in Lin Yuan's mind. The reason he went to such lengths trying to control the Tianqing alliance leader was not only because of the Tianqing alliance leader's strength as the strongest in the Tianqing world. What is more important is the world sword. The world sword was born from the Tianqing world. In theory, it had no possibility of emerging, as it was closely related to the origin source of the Tianqing world. If Lin Yuan could obtain the world sword and, with his against heaven's understanding, ponder over it, he might decipher the grand secret of the world's rotation and life and death, and then integrate it into his inner world. 8th layer evolvers and even 9th rank evolvers' cultivations were primarily focused on the inner world, constantly perfecting the inner world, enabling it to grow, and eventually become a true big world. "Go, bring back the world sword," Lin Yuan ordered the Tianqing alliance leader. "Yes." The Tianqing alliance leader got up and left. After half an hour, the Tianqing alliance leader returned. But this time he held a stone-made long sword in his hand. This long sword, made entirely of gray-white stone, yet vaguely emitted the fluctuations of a power that commanded the world. "Is this the world sword?" With a thought from Lin Yuan, the world sword in the hands of the Tianqing alliance leader flew towards Lin Yuan. Perhaps it sensed something. The world sword began to struggle violently. "If we were outside, you might have a chance to break free. But here," Lin Yuan chuckled coldly. Having operated the Black Mist Mountain range for 100 years or so, every inch of space was within his grasp, leaving the world sword no possibility to resist. Soon, Lin Yuan's mind and consciousness briefly touched the world sword. Through the world sword, Lin Yuan faintly sensed the massive origin source of the Tianqing world, and the world consciousness that had fallen into slumber. As expected, it didn't surprise Lin Yuan at all that the world consciousness had fallen into slumber. It was to be expected. Did one truly believe using the world sword came without any price? If that was the case, then why wouldn't the Tianqing world let the world sword emerge? If it weren't for the invasion of the ancestral demon tree which posed a destructive threat to the Tianqing world, it is likely that the world sword wouldn't have emerged this time either. The world sword is the manifest core essence of the Tianqing world. Every time the world sword is used, it shakes the consciousness of the Tianqing world. Over time, after numerous uses, the world consciousness of the Tianqing world will fall into slumber. Of course, even if the world consciousness falls asleep, the Tianqing world still has an almost instinctive defense against the outside world. But for the inside of the world, Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. If the world consciousness of the Tianqing world were awake, Lin Yuan's growth would definitely not have been so smooth. This was also thanks to the ancestral demon tree. Without this foreign evil god, the Tianqing alliance leader would not have frequently urged the world sword and eventually reached a certain limit that put the world consciousness to sleep completely. Lin Yuan's gaze shifted, looking down at the Tianqing alliance leader, the vice alliance hierarch, protectors, elders, the 4 divine beast kings, and the demon beast kings. If one said that before gaining control over the Tianqing alliance leader, Lin Yuan was merely the hidden puppeteer of the Tianqing world. Now, Lin Yuan was the true, uncrowned king of the Tianqing world. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, more than half a year had gone by. During this time, Lin Yuan had the Tianqing alliance leader and others return to the Tianqing mountain, the central point of the Tianqing world, to receive the worship of all beings, as per the regular plan. Moreover, under Lin Yuan's secret push, the martial Tao cultivation system had officially become the most authoritative cultivation system in the Tianqing world, standing side by side with the original cultivation system. With Lin Yuan's influence, it was foreseeable that in a few hundred years, the cultivation system of the Tianqing world would be completely replaced by martial Tao. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain range, Lin Yuan's consciousness converged in the root area, staring at the clump of dark flames burning. It's almost time, Lin Yuan thought to himself. It was also time to deal with the ancestral demon tree. Lin Yuan worried that if he continued to wait, the ancestral demon tree might think of forcibly cutting itself loose and fleeing. With this thought, Lin Yuan gathered his thoughts and began to contact the ancestral demon tree through the dark flame. The dark flame was the hinge between the ancestral demon tree and Lin Yuan. The ancestral demon tree could contact Lin Yuan through this flame. Lin Yuan could also do the opposite. Of course, originally, a tree demon spawn like Lin Yuan did not have the right to actively contact the ancestral demon tree. Experienced tales at Freeweb novel, but after the last release of his talents, the ancestral demon tree simply allowed Lin Yuan to contact it at any time. There was no other way. As of now, Lin Yuan was its only surviving offspring, its hope to recover all losses by descending upon the Tianqing world. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 361. In fact, Lin Yuan had overestimated the ancestral demon tree. The foreign evil god didn't have the boldness to cut off its own flesh and leave. It had completely lost its composure and pinned all its hopes on Lin Yuan. Therefore, when Lin Yuan actively contacted the ancestral demon tree, pretending to have grown to the 5th stage, the joy in the heart of the ancestral demon tree was imaginable. Opportunity. The opportunity I've been waiting for has finally come. Outside the Tianqing world, in a shadowy expanse of the void, the ancestral demon tree stared intently at the vast world in the distance, as if looking at a delicious cake. After destroying the evil god battlefield, the Tianqing alliance leader deliberately left the world sword behind to prevent a counterattack from the ancestral demon tree. In reality, such a move was completely unnecessary, as the current ancestral demon tree retained only 50% of its origin source from its heyday, and after losing the invasion battlefield, it simply had no power to threaten the Tianqing world. Who would have thought? The seed I planted back then would become the key to my descent into the Tianqing world, mused the ancestral demon tree, pleased with itself. All along, it never once considered that Lin Yuan might deceive it. As an offspring derived from the progenitor, the former has an almost instinctual loyalty to the latter. Tianqing alliance leader and those people, they didn't notice you after they returned, did they? The ancestral demon tree asked. Ancestor, the Black Mist Mountain range where I hide is inconspicuous among the top 10 mountain ranges and has not attracted any attention, Lin Yuan said evenly, without a blush or a skipped heartbeat. That's good. The ancestral demon tree nodded. It thought the same. If Lin Yuan had indeed attracted the attention of powerhouses like the Tianqing alliance leader, how could he still contact it? Now start making preparations. In 3 days, we will officially open the space channel. After giving a few instructions, the ancestral demon tree cut off contact. The reason for waiting 3 days before opening the space channel was entirely the ancestral demon tree's own plan. Its form was too large now, though compared to the entire Tianqing world, it was inconspicuous. But descending into the Tianqing world with such a massive size would draw attention no matter what. And such a huge body put pressure on the space channel. So over these 3 days, the ancestral demon tree intended to condense its form and shrink to within 100 meters. Only by doing so could it possibly hide itself after passing through the space channel and buy enough time to assimilate into the world origin source. As long as I can devour the entire origin source of the Tianqing world, it's all worth it. The ancestral demon tree thought to itself, finding the process of compressing its form excruciatingly painful, and it would certainly affect its combat power. Amongst the void beyond realms, the bodies of evil gods measure millions to tens of millions of miles. Are they just for show? A large size, although it reduces agility, brings many benefits in other areas. The most obvious is the ability to survive. An evil god with a millions of miles long body, compared to one that's tens of thousands of miles long, who gains more energy from a single breath. Naturally, it is the former. And in the outer void, the ability to survive is crucial. Even the evil gods spend most of their lives drifting alone through the void. Encountering other evil gods or a world is an extremely rare event. That's why the ancestral demon tree is so eager to descend into the Tianqing world. Such an opportunity is too rare. It's enough to propel an evil god even further. Black Mist Mountain Range. In 3 days, Lin Yuan pondered. The ancestral demon tree's plan to open the space channel in 3 days was a bit unexpected, but still within his plans. After considering these things, Lin Yuan turned his head to look at the Tianqing Alliance leader and the others below. "Have you brought all the reserves over?" Lin Yuan asked with a hint of concern. The Tianqing world still held many reserves. These reserves were in place to prevent extreme situations, should the ancestral demon tree manage to invade the Tianqing world. "Master, the Yin-Yang Reversal Heaven and Earth Extermination 9 Heavens Great Formations layout has already been set up, with 16 7th-rank powerhouses, 88 6th-rank peak powerhouses, and 194 6th-rank powerhouses stationed at the key positions, leaving no margin for error. Moreover, we have brought 13 Thunder Creation Pearls. These 13 Thunder Creation Pearls are the accumulation of millions of years from our Tianqing world. There will be no issues," the Tianqing Alliance leader declared, thumping his chest. "That's good." Lin Yuan nodded slightly, content in his heart. The Yin-Yang Reversal Heaven and Earth Extermination 9 Heavens Great Formation mentioned by the Tianqing Alliance leader is the most powerful formation in the Tianqing world since ancient times. If this great formation didn't rely on the Tianqing world, if it didn't greatly lose its power once removed from the world's range, it probably would have been taken to the evil god battlefield long ago. This sort of formation could only manifest its greatest power within the world, powered by hundreds of powerhouses starting from the 6th rank. This great formation's power could rise to unimaginable heights. Even if the ancestral demon tree were in its prime, if by chance it fell within the reach of this great formation, it would barely escape with its life, if not worse. Experience new stories with Freeweb novel and the Thunder Creation Pearls? Lin Yuan has a profound understanding of the power of these pearls. A single Thunder Creation Pearl, when activated, would unleash a terrifying power that completely reaches the 8th layer level. The 9 Heavens Thunder of the Tianqing world, after gestating for millions of years, yielded only 15 Thunder Creation Pearls in total. Aside from the ones previously used, the remaining 13 Thunder Creation Pearls were brought in one fell swoop by the Tianqing Alliance leader. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 362. Of course, while the Thunder Creation Pearl was mighty and terrifying, its flaws were also quite evident. One of which was the lengthy activation time, and during the activation period it would emit thunderous fluctuations. At that time, even a fool could tell that you were preparing to use your trump card. By then, there would be ample time to consider whether to temporarily avoid the brunt of its force. However, the flaw of the Thunder Creation Pearl. to the soon-to-arrive ancestral demon tree, was tantamount to non-existent. Lin Yuan could calculate the timing perfectly. He could activate the Thunder Creation Pearl in advance, so that by the time the ancestral demon tree descended into the Tianqing world, the activation of the Thunder Creation Pearl would have nearly reached its end. The ancestral demon tree would probably not have reacted before it had to confront the earth-shattering might of 13 Thunder Creation Pearls. Still, the sensation is a bit off. Lin Yuan's mind stirred slightly. The stone sword, the world sword, flew out, landing in front of the Tianqing Alliance leader. This world weapon could only be activated by the creatures of this world. As for Lin Yuan, even if he could completely suppress the world sword, he couldn't activate it. After all, the evil demonic force of the demon tree was diametrically opposed to the pure power within the world sword. During the time Lin Yuan held the world sword, his main goal was to use it to comprehend the operations of the Tianqing world. Can you assure that with this sword, you can deal with that foreign evil god? Lin Yuan looked towards the Tianqing Alliance leader and asked. The world sword was the strongest foundation of the Tianqing world, and naturally, Lin Yuan could not let it go to waste. Since he himself couldn't activate it, then he would let the original owner of the world sword do so. After all, Lin Yuan had now completely taken control over the Tianqing Alliance leader, and to him the world sword was merely going through the motions. Master, rest assured. With this sword in hand, just by myself, I can surely suppress that foreign evil god. The Tianqing Alliance leader was visibly excited. The closer the world sword was to the Tianqing world, the greater its might. Now that the world sword was within the Tianqing world, its power was unbelievably strong. It's almost time. Lin Yuan checked once more and nodded slightly. In truth, even if the ancestral demon tree expended everything to withstand the yin-yang reversal heaven and earth extermination 9 heavens great formation, to withstand the destructive Thunder Creation Pearl, to withstand the Tianqing Alliance leader wielding the world sword, it would still have to face the most terrifying existence. And that was Lin Yuan himself. In over 100 years, thanks to his against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan himself did not know the extent of his strength, because so far, there hadn't been anyone who had forced him to exert his full power. Even when dealing with the Tianqing Alliance leader, Lin Yuan had done it effortlessly without spending a bit of energy. Time passed. In a blink, 3 days later arrived. The ancestral demon tree was still somewhat uneasy, and checked one last time with Lin Yuan. You're sure the surroundings of the spatial channel you're about to open are safe, right? The ancestral demon tree asked solemnly. Lin Yuan looked at the several hundred experts ready for battle, the Thunder Creation Pearl emitting a world-terminating vibration, himself still holding the world sword, and the Tianqing Alliance leader exuding a terrifying presence. Absolutely safe. Lin Yuan nodded and encouraged. Ancestor, you can rest assured. Don't you trust me? After assuring the ancestral demon tree a few more times, Lin Yuan began to open the spatial channel. A faint power of space began to fluctuate. An entrance was beginning to form. Outside the world, the form of the ancestral demon tree was now less than 60 meters tall. The spatial channel has finally begun to open. I've waited too long for this day. The ancestral demon tree looked at the gradually forming spatial channel, somewhat tearful with emotion. Just under half an hour. All I need is less than half an hour. Then I can successfully perform the secret technique and merge within the origin source of the Tianqing world. The ancestor meticulously calculated the time. Even though the moment the spatial channel was opened, the resultant spatial fluctuations would inevitably spread in every direction. By the time the powerhouses of the Tianqing world took notice, it would have been far too long. A mere half an hour was far too short for the entire Tianqing world. Unless upon his arrival, there was a large group of Tianqing world powerhouses waiting in strict formation. No one else could prevent him from merging with the origin source of the Tianqing world. Once the merge was successful, after devouring all of the Tianqing world's origin source, the ancestral demon tree would become unprecedentedly powerful. Ha 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 ha! Tianqing world, here I come. The ancestral demon tree patiently waited for a while, confirmed the successful opening of the spatial channel. and then confidently entered the spatial channel entrance. The next moment, as if crossing infinite distances, when the ancestral demon tree stepped out of the spatial channel, it had arrived deep within the Black Mist Mountain range. The ancestral demon tree had yet to get a clear look at its surroundings when it caught a scent, and its expression was one of pure enjoyment. A delicious scent. The ancestral demon tree felt every pore in its body relax, a stark contrast to the harsh environment outside the realm. Inside this world, the environment was filled with a gentle power that seemed like heaven to it. Hurry up and apply the secret technique. The ancestral demon tree was aware of the gravity of the situation. The ancestral demon tree began to observe its surroundings. Quickly noticed Lin Yuan. With the world barrier gone, the ancestral demon tree immediately sensed that Lin Yuan had grown to the 6th stage. And he was at the limit of the 6th stage, far beyond what one at the beginning of the 5th stage could compare to. In addition, the ancestral demon tree was shocked to discover it felt a faint, trembling presence emanating from Lin Yuan. How could this be possible at this time? Although the ancestral demon tree currently had only half of its origin source and its strength was far from its peak, it shouldn't be like this when facing its own offspring, even if only 1/10 of the origin source was left. Something isn't right. The ancestral demon tree immediately came to its senses. It was about to turn and return through the spatial channel to the outside of the world. However, crack. The spatial channel in front of it began to collapse bit by bit. The ancestral demon tree was stunned on the spot. The next moment, a terrifying aura erupted into the sky. A set of formations, faintly radiating infinite might, unfolded, with the force of Yin-Yang 9 Heaven's extermination spreading throughout. Immediately after, thunder pearls began to emit extremely terrifying energy fluctuations. Terrifying thunderous power permeated the area, transforming a million li around it into the 9 Heavens thunder pond, and under the extremely yang and rigid thunderous power, the ancestral demon tree felt its consciousness dim and its remaining strength once again suppressed. However, this was far from over. The Yin-Yang reversal heaven and earth extermination 9 Heavens great formation was fully activated, with hundreds of powerhouses striking simultaneously. Next, the Tianqing Alliance leader, wielding the world sword, exerted all his strength in a slash, and within an instant, space was torn apart, and terrifying might descended. No! Upon seeing this scene, the ancestral demon tree's scalp exploded. I am the ancestral demon. The ancestral demon tree did not hesitate to reveal its true body, its 60-meter stature growing rapidly. Rustle, rustle. In just an instant, half of the ancestral demon tree's body was torn apart. It made the ancestral demon tree's heart chill. Before the ancestral demon tree could take any action, the next wave of attack surged over again. Ah! The ancestral demon tree suddenly emitted a terrifying psychic fluctuation, because it knew it probably wouldn't leave the Tianqing world alive. Boom, boom, boom. Terrifying energy fluctuations poured down as if cascading. Before death, the ancestral demon tree's mind flickered with one thought after another. Even now, it was unclear about what had actually happened. Why were there so many powerhouses lying in ambush outside the spatial channel? And why were they using the Tianqing world's ultimate power? Could it be that the offspring demon tree had defected to the Tianqing world? But that seemed even more improbable. Whether it was the offspring demon tree or the ancestral demon tree, they stood in opposition to the Tianqing world, with no chance of reconciliation. Even if the offspring demon tree wanted to defect, the Tianqing world would have to be willing. If it wasn't the offspring demon tree defecting, then did the Tianqing world control the offspring demon tree? But that seemed equally impossible. As a descendant of a foreign evil god, it wouldn't be so easily controlled. How else could the ancestral demon tree have roamed outside the realm for so many years? And just now, in a fleeting glance, the ancestral demon tree perceived that the many powerhouses of the Tianqing world, including the strongest Tianqing Alliance leader wielding the world sword, were all treating its offspring demon tree with the utmost respect. Why was that? Within the split second, One doubt after another flashed through the ancestral demon tree's mind. Boom, boom, boom. The ancestral demon tree's massive body was torn asunder. Countless origin sources scattered, with exceptionally pure powers of evil emerging. Discover hidden tales at Freeweb Novel Stop. Seeing this, Lin Yuan's thoughts stirred slightly. The remaining 5/10 of the ancestral demon tree's origin source began to converge in front of him, and he swallowed it all at once. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 363. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain Range. Here, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth boiled over. Terrifying spatial fissures emerged one after another. But under the recovery of the void itself, they quickly healed. If it weren't for the fact that this place was Lin Yuan's stronghold for over 100 years, stabilized by special means, I fear a radius of tens of thousands of miles, even the void itself would have shattered. After all, the slaughter that just took place was too terrifying. Lin Yuan didn't hold back his subordinates so as not to give the ancestral demon tree a chance. All strategies and reserves were thrown at the ancestral demon tree at once. Anyway, once Lin Yuan's stay was up, he would leave this world. Unless he paid the cost of world-breaking origin force, he couldn't take anything from this world with him. So Lin Yuan had no intention of being frugal. Ancestor? Are you still there, Ancestor? After swallowing the origin source scattered from the collapse of the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan asked in a quiet voice. However, Lin Yuan received no response from the ancestral demon tree. Lin Yuan showed no surprise, for at the very moment the ancestral demon tree's body was torn apart, Lin Yuan sensed its aura drop to freezing point. Now, he couldn't sense the slightest breath of the ancestral demon tree. As a subordinate demon tree, sensing the aura of the ancestral demon tree was instinctive. Even if separated by vast distances and obstructed by multiple world barriers, at most the sense might be a bit hazy. But it was definitely there. Just now, the breath of the ancestral demon tree, or rather its life fluctuations, seemed to have completely disappeared. Clearly, the ancestral demon tree had completely fallen. Read latest chapters on Freeweb Novel. That's it. Lin Yuan sighed, his expression somewhat disappointed. He had originally wanted to exchange a few more moves with the ancestral demon tree. He told the Tianqing Alliance leader not to hold back and to give it his all. But in reality, Lin Yuan's strongest reserve was still himself. In the deepest part of the Black Mist Mountain Range, benefiting from the demon tree's characteristics, Lin Yuan could unleash his greatest combat power. Master, what should we do now? At this time, the Tianqing Alliance leader and many subordinates stepped forward and asked respectfully. From the moment the ancestral demon tree used the spatial passage, their offensive had not ceased. Until Lin Yuan shouted, "Stop." They then stopped. "You all go back," Lin Yuan ordered casually. The complete death of the ancestral demon tree forced Lin Yuan to face the next problem. That was the other subordinate demon trees. Firstly, he needed to understand the hidden secrets of these foreign evil gods, the demon trees. The ancestral demon tree was the absolute ruler of countless demon trees. As long as it was alive, other subordinate demon trees would unconditionally obey its commands. This was a form of mental and ideological bondage. Next, there was physical bondage. With just a single thought, the ancestral demon tree could destroy any subordinate demon tree. Of course, Lin Yuan was an exception. He descended into a dying subordinate demon tree through the door to the myriad realms with his consciousness. Although he replaced the original demon tree, he was not bound by the loyalty or ideological constraints towards the ancestral demon tree. Neither mental and ideological nor physical constraints. These only existed while the ancestral demon tree was alive. Once the ancestral demon tree died, the mental, ideological, and physical constraints would all vanish. Countless demon trees would develop a certain notion deep within. That was to grow to the 7th stage and become the new ancestral demon tree. This was akin to an ant queen in a colony. The death of an ant queen didn't mean the colony would collapse. but under the drive of instinct, a new queen would be born. Lin Yuan was now facing this problem. Deep within, he felt the presence of other demon trees scattered at immeasurable distances. These demon trees were the numerous reserves left by the ancestral demon tree, either to help the ancestral demon tree guard a treasure or to suppress something in a discovered secret realm. And now, these demon trees, almost simultaneously, sensed the death of the ancestral demon tree. The ancestor has died. The ancestor was so powerful, how could it die? The ancestor has died. I want to become the new ancestor. Having lost their ideological restraint, countless demon trees developed ambition. At the same time, freed from physical constraint, the various talents and abilities of the ancestral demon tree began to awaken within the subordinate demon trees. All want to become the ancestor? A chill spread across Lin Yuan's face. Although he didn't care much for the ancestral demon tree, after all, he had just slain a true ancestral demon tree. But Lin Yuan couldn't accept the other demon trees picking his fruit. Let me become the ancestral demon tree then. Lin Yuan hesitated not at all. Since this journey was just a consciousness descent, regardless of what he became in this traversed world, once he returned to the main world, he would revert back to his original form. Lin Yuan also wanted to experience what it felt like to become a foreign evil god. The growth of a demon tree is divided into 8 stages. Although the ancestral demon tree was said to be at the 8th stage, it hadn't truly stepped into it. Strictly speaking, the ancestral demon tree was still at the 7th stage. With the complete death of the ancestral demon tree, the first demon tree to grow to the 7th stage would become the new ancestral demon tree. The 7th stage for a demon tree represented a certain limit. A demon tree at the 7th stage could gradually break free from mental and ideological constraints, even while the ancestral demon tree was still alive. Therefore, the ancestral demon tree would never allow a 7th stage demon tree to come into being. And if a 7th stage demon tree emerged, no matter the distance, the ancestral demon tree could immediately sense it. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 364. Even before, Lin Yuan had already reached the peak of the 6th stage, but he had hesitated to step into the 7th stage for fear of alerting the ancestral demon tree. But now that was no longer a concern. Thanks to the suppression by the ancestral demon tree, aside from Lin Yuan, all other demon trees at their highest growth stages were only at the 5th stage. Aiming to rush into the 7th stage in a short time was simply impossible, even if they unlocked the many talents and abilities of the ancestral demon tree. Thus Lin Yuan was under no pressure whatsoever. After a brief preparation, Lin Yuan began to push towards the 7th stage. In truth, for a demon tree at the peak of the 6th stage, challenging the 7th stage came with risks. Every stage of a demon tree represented a significant transformation. But for Lin Yuan, the risk was almost non-existent after he devoured a great amount of origin source from the former ancestral demon tree. Moreover, with the aid of Against Heaven's understanding, if Lin Yuan still could not break through to the 7th stage, he might as well end his voyage early and return to the main world. Boom, boom, boom. After 10 days, Lin Yuan grew into a 7th stage demon tree. Frubuvel. The moment Lin Yuan stepped into this stage, a wondrous feeling struck him. Originally, Lin Yuan could not sense the existence of other demon trees. But the death of the ancestral demon tree granted Lin Yuan the ability to vaguely sense many distant demon trees. However, it was just a vague notion, still stemming from a sense of competition with one another. Likewise, other demon trees could also sense Lin Yuan's presence. Before the birth of a new ancestral demon tree, all demon trees were equal in status. But now, this vague perception had changed to complete control upon reaching the 7th stage. Lin Yuan could forcibly connect with all demon trees through a sort of intangible authority, regardless of whether they wished it or not. And Lin Yuan could also control the life and death of any demon tree at will. To put it simply, Lin Yuan was now the ancestral demon tree. As Lin Yuan ascended to the 7th stage and became the new ancestral demon tree, all the demon trees also received this information, and at the same time, new ways of thinking and thought restraints were formed. From then on, these demon trees regarded Lin Yuan with absolute loyalty. Any ambitions or wild thoughts that had arisen due to the death of the previous ancestral demon tree vanished without a trace. This was the nature of the demon tree race. So long as the ancestral demon tree lived, the entire race shared but one will. We have seen the ancestor. 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 Since Lin Yuan had just become the ancestral demon tree, many authorities were not yet harvested. So many demon trees still retain the ability to actively contact the ancestor. And now, without exception, these demon trees were offering their congratulations, devoid of any other thoughts. All right, I know. Your journey continues with Lin Yuan casually responded to a few. Compared to the former ancestral demon tree's cruel and ferocious nature, Lin Yuan considered himself to be rather amiable. From now on, bring all treasures here with you. Lin Yuan issued an order to all demon trees. Why had the former ancestral demon tree left offspring demon trees in many regions? It was simply because it had found some treasures, some exotic spiritual objects from beyond their realm that could not be harvested immediately or were still incubating, so it had them guarded by offspring demon trees. When the time came for them to mature, it would return to reap them. But now, these rare treasures all belonged to Lin Yuan. The ancestral demon tree had indeed left behind a significant legacy for him. Yes, Ancestor, I will head over now. Ancestor, from my current location, it would take 320 years to reach you. The many demon trees began to report their own situations, as ordinary life forms wishing to traverse the outer void. The biggest problem is endurance, which is how to stay alive. In the outer void, without the various mild energies found within a world, surviving in such a harsh environment is not easy. However, the demon trees possess the ability of void roots, and Lin Yuan only needed to make this ability available to all the demon tree offshoots. After roughly dealing with the many issues of the demon trees, Lin Yuan's mind once again returned to himself. Ancestral demon tree, foreign evil god. Quite a special feeling? Lin Yuan's branches swayed, stepping into the 7th stage and becoming the new ancestral demon tree. His body had already grown to a size of 10,000 meters. Even the entire Black Mist Mountain range could be overlooked at a glance. Moreover, as time passed, Lin Yuan's size continued to rapidly increase, and it was foreseeable that he would grow to the colossal height of the ancestral demon tree that previously spanned the outer void. Lin Yuan allowed this without any attempt to suppress or hide it, because Lin Yuan no longer needed to hide, as he had the entire Tianqing world under his control. What was there to hide? The origin source of the Tianqing world. Lin Yuan looked towards the earth, the unique perception of the ancestral demon tree allowing him to sense the vast world origin source pulsating. Lin Yuan could not only sense the fluctuations of the world origin source but also had the ability to merge into the origin vast ocean. At that time, the entire origin source of the Tianqing world would become Lin Yuan's meal, ready for him to devour at will. This was an exclusive ability of the ancestral demon tree, completely different from methods like void roots, and something only the ancestral demon tree itself could master. It was a unique ability amongst the entire demon tree race. No wonder the ancestral demon tree was so eager to enter the interior of the Tianqing world, without worrying about being besieged by other powerhouses. Lin Yuan appeared contemplative. Theoretically, with the world sword in hand, the Tianqing alliance leader could exert combat power beyond that of outside the world when within it. The arrival of the ancestral demon tree in the Tianqing world would make it vulnerable, like fish trapped in a secret pot or dogs trapped in a dead-end street. But the ancestral demon tree still desired to do so because it could merge into the world origin vast ocean. Not even the Tianqing alliance leader could enter the origin vast ocean of the Tianqing world. If the ancestral demon tree entered, it would be in an invincible position and could freely devour the world origin source, rapidly becoming stronger. As for the many consequences of devouring the world origin source, like the decline of the Tianqing world, or even its destruction, those were not concerns of the ancestral demon tree. If I wished, I could also merge into the world origin source and easily devour the entire Tianqing world's origin source. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even at this moment, the instincts from the ancestral demon tree were urging Lin Yuan to do so. Unfortunately, I am not the ancestral demon tree. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. For Lin Yuan, he was but a passerby in this world, who would leave when his time was up, and he would do so without taking anything with him. Devouring the Tianqing world's origin source would indeed enhance the foundation of the ancestral demon tree, and might even push it a step closer to the 8th stage. But what did that have to do with Lin Yuan? Unless Lin Yuan was willing to pay a great price to take the ancestral demon tree back to the main world, the strength of the ancestral demon tree, however formidable, was irrelevant. In Lin Yuan's mind, maintaining the stability of the Tianqing world so that it could carry on the dissemination of the martial path evolutionary path was the choice that maximized benefits. At the very least, it could provide assistance for Lin Yuan's future ultimate leap. Even if the entire Tianqing world's origin source was devoured, the ancestral demon tree would not be able to step into the 8th stage, which is the legendary end of the road for the demon tree race. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. The cultivation system of the ancestral demon tree was based on mining its own potential. Even if it truly entered the 8th stage, it would not provide him with a view from above to assist his growth. Therefore, from beginning to end, Lin Yuan never thought about devouring the Tianqing world's origin source, because for him it was more harm than good. Continue to cultivate. After pondering for a while, Lin Yuan continued with his enlightenment. Upon becoming the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan mastered many methods exclusive to the ancestral demon tree, which he could consider integrating into the martial path evolutionary path. To make the martial path evolutionary path more perfect and adaptable to more harsh environments. And so, time swiftly passed by. In the blink of an eye, 300 years had gone by. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 365 300 years, for the world itself, is not a very long time. Yet, for the creatures within the world, it could be considered an eternity. Especially for ordinary humans, 3 centuries probably span several generations. In Tianqing world, these 300 years were indeed marked by earth-shaking changes. Firstly, there was the widespread adoption of the martial Tao cultivation system. The original cultivation systems of Tianqing world had high barriers to entry, and the major powers colluded to maintain a de facto monopoly. This meant that people at the bottom had no way to advance, living out their entire lives without access to the higher paths. It was just 300 or 400 years ago that the martial Tao cultivation system began to spread. Compared to the original cultivation systems of the world, the threshold to start practicing the martial Tao was so low it was almost laughable. As long as one was human, they were qualified to practice the martial Tao. Of course, the specific level to which one might cultivate depended on the individual. But at least everyone had a chance. Secondly, over the past 300 years, the greatest change in Tianqing world was that ancient tree which had grown to an unknown height, towering like a pillar reaching the heavens. This ancient tree was the sacred tree of Tianqing world. Every year, the world's most powerful beings would come in person to worship beneath the tree. As for other creatures in Tianqing world, by rights, the area tens of thousands of miles around such a sacred tree should be forbidden to the idle and the irrelevant. But the sacred tree was merciful and did not mind the approach of ant-like creatures toward it. And a few thousand miles away from the sacred tree, a group of people had come to this place, observing the sacred tree from a distance. At such a distance, anything should appear incredibly small. Yet as these people watched the sacred tree, they still felt it was majestic and awe-inspiring, almost too grand to look upon directly. This is the sacred tree, which allowed Tianqing world to end the world-shattering war hundreds of years ago, with its mighty power, said the middle-aged man at the front, apparently in the role of mentor, to the dozen or so youths following him. I've heard about that too. The sacred tree is so great. The other youths nodded one after another, their expressions filled with admiration and longing. But, at this moment, a young man hesitated before finally mustering the courage to say, I've heard some people say that the sacred tree has a great connection to the instigator of the war hundreds of years ago, the demon ancestral tree. After speaking, the young man cautiously glanced at his mentor. In fact, this kind of talk was not uncommon in Tianqing world. 300 years was not enough to erase everything. During the invasion of the foreign evil gods, countless cultivators of the Tianqing world rushed to the battlefield. Many cultivators still alive today clearly remember the image of the ancestral demon tree, and the tree that all beings now worship bears some resemblance to that demon ancestral tree. The demon ancestral tree? Nonsense. The middle-aged man was angry. He had heard such claims before, but always sneered at them. I ask you all, what was the purpose of the foreign evil god's invasion of our Tianqing world? He said, looking at the other youths and asking in a serious tone. The foreign evil god wanted to destroy our world. Read exclusive chapters at right. The foreign evil god was too evil. It wanted to consume everything, including us. Thankfully, the foreign evil god was defeated. Otherwise, we would have been doomed. This time, the response from the youths was surprisingly unanimous. Given that, if the sacred tree was truly related to the foreign evil god, then would we still have time to stand here talking? The middle-aged man spoke forcefully. I don't care how some people choose to defame the sacred tree, but you, at least, ought to have your own judgment. If not for the sacred tree, would those in high places have opened up their resources to us? If not for the sacred tree, would there ever have been a spread of the martial Tao cultivation system? And how many of you here would have had the chance to embark on the path of cultivation? If not for the sacred tree, would Tianqing world have been so peaceful and stable these past few hundred years, without a hint of upheaval? The more the middle-aged man spoke, the more passionate he became, having relatives who lived through that era hundreds of years ago. As a child, he would listen to the elders gossip about the chaos of Tianqing world before the evil god battlefield erupted, with major forces waging endless wars. The high and mighty Tianqing sect looked down upon all creatures, possessing the power to resolve conflicts but unwilling to do so, hiding behind the noble-sounding principle of governing by doing nothing. The middle-aged man's words plunged the youths into deep thought. Indeed, these words made sense. If the sacred tree was truly related to the demon ancestral tree, then shouldn't Tianqing world now, if not destroyed by the sacred tree, at least be enslaved by it? Would youths like them even have the privilege to approach here to observe the sacred tree itself? This was completely contrary to the description of the demon ancestral tree. Though young, the youths knew that the martial Tao cultivation system they practiced originated from the sacred tree. Freeweb novel. It was under the orders of the sacred tree that those in high places actively propagated the martial Tao. And thus they were qualified to cultivate the martial Tao. The current Tianqing world, under the will of the sacred tree, flourished. Even the most ordinary people had the capability to survive. And all beings had the possibility to pursue a better life. How could such a sacred tree possibly have any relation to the cruel and ferocious demon ancestral tree? I don't care why those people are so desperate to question the sacred tree, or what benefit they derive from doing so. The middle-aged man took a deep breath and continued. But it's ridiculous to equate the sacred tree with the demon ancestral tree. How could the sacred tree possibly be the demon ancestral tree? It is the world tree that shelters all of us. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 366. The middle-aged man looked toward the distant sacred tree again, admiration glowing in his eyes. Right, he said. Damn it. The enemy has actually been hiding inside us. From now on, anyone who dares to slander the sacred tree will be opposing me. The youths began to speak up. They were unclear about the battle against the foreign evil god invasion that had happened hundreds of years before. But they could feel that the life they were living now was very good, and all of it stemmed from the sacred tree. It's a simple principle: what you say isn't important, but what you do is key. The now thriving and prosperous Tianqing world was quickly quashing those rumors and slanders doubting the sacred tree. At the top of the sacred tree, This place was close to Tianqing world's natural barrier, and just a bit further up you might leave the scope of the Tianqing world. And right now, on the main trunk of the sacred tree, a figure was sitting cross-legged. 300 years, he said. This figure was Lin Yuan. To be precise, it was an incarnation derived from the demon tree seed of the ancestral demon tree. After becoming the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan had gained all the abilities of the ancestral demon tree, including the demon seed incarnation. During this traversal, although he had become the demon tree, his essence was still human, so he directly used the demon seed incarnation to take on a human form and resided within it. Unfortunately, most of the ancestral demon tree's innate abilities are tied to the ancestral demon tree itself. Even if I've fully comprehended them, I can't use them in the main world, Lin Yuan sighed. For instance, the demon seed was something that had to be formed by the demon tree, and when Lin Yuan returned to the main world, reverting to human form, he couldn't gather the demon seed and therefore couldn't perform the parasitic techniques. Unless Lin Yuan was willing to give up his human form and completely transform into the ancestral demon tree, it might then be possible to inherit everything. With Lin Yuan's current understanding of the ancestral demon tree, he could completely create a technique for the transformation of the essence of life through his against heaven's understanding. Then, returning to the main world and using this transformation technique, he could begin transforming into the ancestral demon tree. According to Human Alliance's recognition, the definition of human beings doesn't depend on the flesh but on the soul. As long as Lin Yuan's soul did not change, even if he became the ancestral demon tree, he would still be counted as part of the human race. But the consequences of doing that were too great. First and foremost, regarding the species, the ancestral demon tree could not cultivate martial Tao. This would turn Lin Yuan's efforts from his past 6 traversals to ash. Secondly, for Tianqing world, the ancestral demon tree was considered an enormous being that required the effort of an entire world to resist. However, in the main world, it wasn't as insoluble. Even the peak bloodline beings like the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan, not to mention those other powerful and special beings, would be considerably stronger than the ancestral demon tree. And many of the ancestral demon tree's abilities, such as the highly meritorious parasitic techniques. It might be an unsolvable issue in Tianqing world, but in the main world, it definitely did not count as something to be feared. The so-called parasitic influence on the will of true spirits, not to mention others, the constant surveillance of all humans by the 3 goddesses at every moment would allow them to detect any abnormalities through the details of daily behavior. However, if I really want to continue using the abilities of the ancestral demon tree, it's not without a way. Lin Yuan contemplated, stroking his chin. The simplest method would be to give up some world-breaking origin force and bring a seed of the ancestral demon tree to the main world. Then Lin Yuan would nurture it himself, and as it began to grow, he would use control techniques to keep it in check. To the human civilization of the main world, the ancestral demon tree would at most be considered one of the rare and special forms of life. And most of the high-rank evolvers of human civilization basically controlled some special beings for their own use. For Lin Yuan, controlling a demon tree would be extremely simple. He could even train the ancestral demon tree to become his own incarnation at that time, to better manage it. Bringing the whole ancestral demon tree back would use up an incredible amount of world-breaking origin force. But just a single seed, 10 strands of world-breaking origin force would be the absolute limit. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. The door to the myriad realms had the ability to bring back items from other worlds to the main world, consuming world-breaking origin force to achieve this. As for how much world-breaking origin force was required, it depended on the size and level of the items being brought back. The demon tree seed was only the size of a fist. What kind of price could it command if brought back? In 300 years' time, Lin Yuan had exclusive access to all the resources of the Tianqing world, and the harvest was extremely astonishing. First, there was the nurturing of the origin fine gold. This piece, hailing from the main world and treasured even by the 8th layer invincible Chikuan Star-Lord, who had fought life-threatening battles with several other alien strong ones of the same rank and even attracted the attention of a 9th-rank alien race, was a cosmic rarity. After Lin Yuan dealt with the ancestral demon tree, he expended a strand of world-breaking origin force to bring it into this world from the main world. The reason for doing so was, naturally, to incubate the origin fine gold. Of course, Lin Yuan wasn't relying on his own strength to incubate it. The power of the ancestral demon tree leaned towards evil and chaos. If it were to nurture the origin fine gold, not to mention the waste of time and effort, it might also affect the formation of the origin fine gold. The place where Lin Yuan nurtured the origin fine gold was within the origin vast ocean of the Tianqing world. The origin vast ocean of a world was pure and clean, simply the best place for the incubation of the origin fine gold. Weapons like the world sword were incubated within the world's origin vast ocean. Lin Yuan placed the origin fine gold into the origin vast ocean of the Tianqing world for nurturing, and it indeed had an impact on the Tianqing world. But the impact was minor, and Lin Yuan was only incubating it for at most a few hundred years. Once Lin Yuan returned, the Tianqing world would have plenty of time to recover. Lin Yuan looked down and vaguely saw a massive origin vast ocean where a piece of metal was floating and sinking. From afar, the shape of the metal already resembled a bell shape. The world's origin vast ocean has no life imprints, hence it can replace me in nurturing the origin fine gold. Lin Yuan thought to himself. In theory, the incubation of the origin fine gold could only be done by oneself. Because if one were to use the power of others for nurturing, it would contaminate with the life imprints of the others, and then who the origin fine gold truly belonged to would be unclear. But with the world's origin vast ocean, this problem would not occur. A world consciousness is similar to an instinct and does not have so-called life imprints. Martial arts evolution system. With a shift of thought in the 300 years, Lin Yuan had completely developed and perfected the 7th stage martial Tao chapter, and he was even considering the path to the 8th layer part. Although I am not cultivating the martial arts evolution system, in the process of developing the 7th rank chapter, my realm has also been improving. I am now at the 7th rank's limit. As soon as I return to the main world and consume the red spirit fluid, I will be able to quickly reach the 7th rank king level peak. Lin Yuan thought to himself. If Lin Yuan didn't have the corresponding realm, he wouldn't have been able to develop a complete 7th rank chapter. Since ancient times, it has been heard that high-rank evolvers, with their lofty insights, develop lower-rank evolutionary paths, but never has it been heard of a low-rank evolver developing a high-rank evolutionary path. Because if the realm isn't there, one simply cannot grasp the essence of cultivation, let alone develop it. The 1133rd Core Space Model. In Lin Yuan's eyes, a silver sea appeared to ripple. In 300 years, Lin Yuan had comprehended 1133 core space models. It must be known that these are core space models, which explicate certain aspects of the essence of space rules. Even the Chiquan Star Lord, who has the enhancement from some of his own Starry Sky Wanderer Kun's comprehension of space rules, has not yet fully understood all the core space models. For Lin Yuan to comprehend over 1,000 core space models at the 7th layer level was nothing short of monstrous. I wonder how much these comprehensions of space models can expand my inner world. Lin Yuan's expression was somewhat anticipatory. The size of the inner world, in addition to needing a sufficiently strong physical body to bear, mainly depends on one's understanding of space rules. The deeper the understanding of space rules, the larger the inner world will be, and the more world force one can mobilize. Novel. Calm just as Lin Yuan was about to continue his cultivation and enlightenment. Discover stories with Freeweb novel. Lin Yuan's expression slightly surprised. The next moment several vast consciousnesses, from the distant outer void, suddenly arrived outside of the Tianqing world. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 367. You all came so early. Lin Yuan also reached out with his consciousness, arriving outside the Tianqing world, merging with those few descending consciousnesses. The projection of Lin Yuan's consciousness was a black ancient tree, while the other 3 consciousness projections were a massive snake, a pale green lake, and a huge eyeball. The outer void is vast and boundless. Of course, it wasn't home to only the ancestral demon tree as a foreign evil god. These 3 consciousness projections were precisely from 3 other foreign evil gods. Between foreign evil gods, encounters didn't necessarily lead to slaughter, cooperation was also possible. For instance, Lin Yuan and these three foreign evil gods usually maintained a good relationship, occasionally exchanging or trading information. Over the past 300 years, aside from cultivating, Lin Yuan had attempted to befriend those foreign evil gods. According to what he understood over the years, Lin Yuan learned that deep within the outer void, there was a congregation ground where a great number of foreign evil gods resided steadily. The ruler there was also a foreign evil god, rumored to have grown into the 9th stage. The growth of foreign evil gods was in stages. For example, Lin Yuan was currently at the 7th stage, and the previous ancestral demon tree was also strictly at the 7th stage in a strict sense. As for the 9th stage, even though the growth stages of an evil god were not linked to their strength, how weak could an evil god who had reached such a stage be? It's known that for an evil god like the ancestral demon tree, the growth limit is the 8th stage. The 9th stage, even with Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding, he could not glean a shred of useful information. Based on Lin Yuan's speculations, a foreign evil god at the 9th stage, even if not quite a supreme being from the main world, probably wasn't far behind. The gathering ground of foreign evil gods. Lin Yuan sighed. If possible, he really wanted to visit. Only the information obtained from other foreign evil gods told him to go from Tianqing world to that gathering place. The time needed would be counted in tens of thousands of years, if not thousands. Of course, for a foreign evil god with almost no end to their lifespan, tens of thousands of years were nothing more than a few sleeps, but in Lin Yuan's view it was entirely unnecessary, because the residence time simply wasn't enough. I wonder what a foreign evil god at the 9th stage would look like? Could it possibly be observed? Lin Yuan was somewhat curious. Foreign evil gods are very special beings, their growth stages completely different from the normal cultivation systems. For example, if Lin Yuan were to grow the ancestral demon tree to the 8th stage, perhaps his very existence would be conceptualized. Demon brother, we're actually envious of you for being able to occupy a world like this as a place for cultivation. As Lin Yuan was deep in thought, the massive snake projection transmitted a mental fluctuation. The consciousnesses of the other two foreign evil gods also showed longing in their demeanor. However, they could only envy and yearn. As with the ancestral demon tree that Lin Yuan was, the Tianqing world's defenses were nearly perfect. Even if 10-odd foreign evil gods came, they might not necessarily break through the world's barrier. And for 10-odd foreign evil gods to join forces, it was harder than reaching the heavens. Most importantly, even if they broke through the Tianqing world, a single world could hardly satisfy the appetites of 10-odd foreign evil gods. All right, enough with the idle talk. Let's start the trade. The massive eyeball evil god projection emitted a mental fluctuation as a reminder. The three foreign evil gods had allowed their consciousnesses to descend here for the sole purpose of trading with Lin Yuan. Most of the time, foreign evil gods wandered through the vast void, occasionally obtaining some treasures. Discover more stories at Freeweb Novel, same as always. I only want Sin's water and secret techniques related to world's consciousness. Lin Yuan nodded, and with a flicker of his thoughts, several azure demon seeds appeared in front of him. The demon seeds condensed by the ancestral demon tree, aside from being a weapon against enemies, could be used as a treasure that offered substantial benefits to other evil gods once the life imprints inside were reclaimed. Over the years, Lin Yuan had truly earned a considerable fortune through these demon seeds. Of course, these demon seeds referred to the ones perfected by Lin Yuan's parasitic methods. Every time he condensed such a demon seed, Lin Yuan had to expend some time and effort, and the demon seeds whose life imprints had been reclaimed didn't take up a parasitic slot of Lin Yuan's. That was why Lin Yuan exchanged them this way. No problem. Reeb Novel. Here are 10 portions of Sin's water. The lake consciousness projection brought out the collected Sin's water, exchanging 20 portions of demon seeds with Lin Yuan. Sin's water, a treasure produced within certain secret realms of the outer void, contained infinite sins and was ideally suited as a nourishing supplement for some foreign evil gods. After several experiments by Lin Yuan, he found that Sin's water had a not insignificant beneficial effect on the body of the ancestral demon tree. That was precisely why Lin Yuan took the initiative to trade for Sin's water. While it was true that whether the ancestral demon tree in this world was strong or not made virtually no difference to Lin Yuan's main body in the main world, that was on the premise that Tianqing world's origin source needed to be used to bear the martial path evolutionary path. If the base strength of the ancestral demon tree could be raised, then of course it would be even better. I have 2 secret techniques related to world's consciousness. I'd appreciate it if Demon Brother would take a look. The giant snake consciousness projection sent out a mental fluctuation, sending the beginnings of the 2 secret techniques related to world's consciousness to Lin Yuan. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 368. Not bad. These 2 secret techniques have their merits. Lin Yuan nodded and handed over 10 demon spawn seeds to the other party. Secret techniques related to the consciousness of the world. They related to Lin Yuan's certain schemes, or rather, his goal. The consciousness of the world, ethereal and elusive, was basically unreachable by the creatures within the world. But among foreign evil gods, the world consciousness was no secret. Many foreign evil gods attempting to break through a world would encounter resistance from the world consciousness. The previous predecessor ancestral demon tree wanted to descend upon the Tianqing world. Under the threat of upheaval, the world consciousness spared no effort in bringing forth the world sword, then formed the Tianqing alliance, concentrating all forces to resist the invasion of the ancestral demon tree. So, for countless millennia, foreign evil gods had a profound understanding of the world consciousness, even developing various secret techniques specifically targeting it. I've also collected a few secret techniques. The giant eye projection finally spoke. The 4 foreign evil gods thus completed their transaction, each appearing quite satisfied. Frubnoel. Calm, Demon Brother. You've already occupied this world. Why collect so many secret techniques related to the world consciousness? The giant serpent consciousness projection asked curiously. The other 2 evil god projections listened and also turned their gaze towards Lin Yuan. Indeed, with the methods of foreign evil gods, as long as they descend into a world, they've essentially declared victory, merging into the origin vast ocean within the world, regardless of any world consciousness. I'm just a bit curious. Lin Yuan found a casual excuse to brush it off. Curious. The 3 evil god projections glanced at each other. Since Lin Yuan did not wish to elaborate, they did not press the issue. Foreign evil gods do not make it a habit to pry into each other's affairs. By the way, Demon Brother, are you occupied with anything right now? The giant eye projection suddenly spoke. I have a friend who wishes to meet you. A friend? What does he want with me? Lin Yuan frowned and asked. It's something good. Something very good, said the giant eye projection immediately. Shortly after, another consciousness descended. This consciousness projection resembled a humanoid form but had 16 arms. Demon Brother. The 16-armed fiend god projection greeted Lin Yuan enthusiastically immediately. This foreign evil god is very powerful. Lin Yuan's expression became slightly serious. His power was at least greater than the other 3 foreign evil gods. Of course, he was still no match for Lin Yuan now. With 300 years of cultivation and against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan's combat power had long surpassed the ancestral demon trees at its peak. The few of us, we found a void secret realm and would like to invite Demon Brother to join us. Rest assured, the final gains from that void secret realm, Demon Brother, you'll get 20%, the 16-armed fiend god projection said with a smile. I acknowledge your strength, Demon Brother, and that void secret realm is actually not hard to conquer. Void secret realm? Lin Yuan fell into thought. The so-called void secret realm was a perilous territory that randomly emerged within the vast, boundless outer void. These perilous territories could possibly contain treasures and opportunities. Generally speaking, a foreign evil god encountering a void secret realm would gain quite a bit. The previous ancestral demon tree encountered many void secret realms and even guarded some of the entrances to certain realms that couldn't be immediately accessed, by deploying some demon tree offshoots nearby. Where is this void secret realm? Lin Yuan asked. Fly in this direction for approximately 500 years, replied the 16-armed fiend god immediately. I'm not interested. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. It's not that he doubted the division of the gains. For a latecomer, getting a 20% share of the realm's income was already extremely good. But it was precisely because of this that Lin Yuan felt something was amiss. If that void secret realm really wasn't hard to conquer, why make a point of inviting him? Besides, a 500-year journey was somewhat unrealistic for Lin Yuan at this time. The world currently hosting Lin Yuan had less than 200 years remaining, and there was no need for him to consider venturing into any void secret realms. It was best to stay peacefully within the Tianqing world. All right, next time you collect the relevant secret techniques or Sin's water, come and find me. Lin Yuan withdrew his extended consciousness, returning to within the Tianqing world. Suddenly, only the lonely presences of 4 evil god consciousnesses remained in the void. What should we do now? Do we continue to invite? Or should we give up? I think the demon brother is very vigilant. Let's change to another evil god. The 4 evil god consciousnesses discussed among themselves for a while, then returned the way they had come. Tianqing world. At the top of the ancestral demon tree, Lin Yuan's gaze followed the withdrawing consciousnesses of the 4 evil gods. It seems I am being targeted? Lin Yuan mused inwardly, although he had not felt any malice from the 16-armed fiend god projection towards him. Yet, this sudden invitation had given rise to many thoughts in Lin Yuan's mind. Over the past 300 years, Lin Yuan would often trade with other evil gods, and as goods, the seeds of the demon tree were highly sought after by many. It was quite normal for him to have caught the attention of certain evil gods. It doesn't matter if I'm being watched. As long as I stay hidden in Tianqing world, who could possibly do anything to me? Lin Yuan's thoughts shifted to the several secret techniques he had recently acquired. World consciousness. Lin Yuan studied repeatedly. The reason Lin Yuan delved into such secret techniques was to attempt if it was possible for his consciousness to replace that of the Tianqing world. To be more precise, to replace it with the instinctual consciousness of the ancestral demon tree. Under normal circumstances, this idea would undoubtedly be seen as an impossible fantasy. How vast is a world's consciousness? Even for foreign evil gods, it would be far from possible to confront the powerful consciousness of a world directly, not to mention replacing it. The means by which foreign evil gods dealt with a world's consciousness were akin to borers, burrowing into the origin vast ocean of a world and slowly consuming it. As for directly replacing the consciousness of the world, it just wasn't realistic. However, the circumstances were abnormal now. The consciousness of Tianqing world had fallen into a deep slumber. Furthermore, Lin Yuan possessed the world sword. He was able, to some extent, to inversely influence the world's consciousness. If he could, with against heaven's understanding, create a suitable method for replacement based on the numerous secret techniques related to the world's consciousness, perhaps it wasn't impossible. The reason Lin Yuan wanted to replace the consciousness of Tianqing world was based on a certain conjecture in his mind. The teleportation function of the door to the myriad realms, even at its most basic level of random teleportation, each time required the expenditure of a strand of world-breaking origin force. If he used world coordinates for precise teleportation, then 10 strands of world-breaking origin force would be spent. Where exactly are these strands of world-breaking origin force being consumed? With consciousness descent, it would perfectly integrate into the creatures of this world, without revealing any abnormalities. There was also no occurrence of resistance from the world during this period. But what if this world had absolutely no rejection or resistance towards Lin Yuan's consciousness? Wouldn't the consumption of world-breaking origin force significantly decrease? If that were truly the case, and Lin Yuan replaced Tianqing world's consciousness with the instinctual consciousness of the ancestral demon tree, and then completely opened it to Lin Yuan's consciousness, the consumption of world-breaking origin force during Lin Yuan's subsequent descents into Tianqing world would probably be pitifully small. By then, the entire Tianqing world would become Lin Yuan's own backyard. Whenever he wished to descend, he could. I still have 190 years of residency time left. During this period, most of my efforts should be spent on creating a secret technique to replace the world consciousness. Lin Yuan resolved in his mind. As for the core model comprehension of the space rules, after comprehending over 1,000 core space models, the difficulty in understanding each subsequent space model would increase significantly. With 190 years left, he could comprehend at most 100 or so core models of the space rules. The significance wasn't too great, and to continue advancing the evolution of Martial Tao. The 7th stage Martial Tao chapter had already been completely explored. Since Lin Yuan had not yet stepped into the 8th layer, choosing to develop the 8th layer part would be somewhat premature. Rather than doing so, it would be better to focus the remaining energy on the method of replacing consciousness. Discover exclusive content at FreeWeb Novel after all. Such an opportunity might not come even after traversing dozens of times. Wanting to induce a world's consciousness into slumber? The difficulty was much too high, and not every world possessed a world weapon like the world sword. Time passed quietly, and before he knew it, another 180 years had slipped by. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 369. The ancestral demon tree's trunk became increasingly thick, ancient, and its profound aura hit everyone in the face. No matter how far away they were, all beings in Tianqing world, as long as they looked up, could see that sacred tree supporting heaven and earth. And now, Lin Yuan's cultivation had reached a critical moment. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many worlds' secret skills, and your own accumulation deepens progressively. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many worlds' secret skills, and your own accumulation deepens progressively. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many worlds' secret skills, and your own accumulation deepens progressively. Creating a secret technique to replace a world secret skill was theoretically impossible, akin to an ant trying to reach the apex of the heavens. Even with against heaven's understanding, one still needed a foundation, nourishment, and the many secret techniques related to world consciousness of this realm were the most precious resources. Over the past few centuries, Lin Yuan had traded with other foreign evil gods to obtain many secret techniques of world consciousness, which directed the deducing of his against heaven's understanding toward a specific path. Your against heaven's understanding enables you to comprehend many world secret skills, to create a method to replace the world consciousness. Many inspirations burst forth in Lin Yuan's mind, forming a complete secret technique. It's finally accomplished? Lin Yuan opened his eyes, a hint of emotion flickering across his face. For 180 years, his mind had been absent of any distractions. He no longer deduced the martial path evolutionary path, nor did he contemplate the core spatial model, all to comprehend a method to replace the world consciousness before his permitted residence expired. In Lin Yuan's plan, even if he failed to comprehend this method now, once he returned to the main world, he would deliberately wait another 6 or 7 years, accumulate 10 strands of world-breaking origin force, and then descend once more to Tianqing world. After all, having complete control over an entire world was too tempting, and the fact that he could descend to Tianqing world at any time for an extremely low price made the offer irresistible to Lin Yuan. You should know, continue reading on FreeWeb Novel. The place Lin Yuan descended was not only Tianqing world, but also included the vast and boundless outer void that contains Tianqing world, encompassing countless foreign evil gods, as well as worlds similar to Tianqing world, and even terrifying evil gods that had grown to the 9th stage. It was only after sensing the vastness of the void beyond Tianqing world that Lin Yuan was determined to possess it. This secret technique, Lin Yuan began to focus on the newly created method to replace world consciousness. This secret technique truly had the potential to allow the innate consciousness of the ancestral demon tree to replace that of Tianqing world. However, there were many restrictive conditions. For example, the consciousness of Tianqing world must be devoid of any capability to resist, meaning it must be in hibernation. Additionally, one must possess methods to influence the world consciousness, something that could be achieved with the world sword. The many restrictive conditions seemed to specifically target the current state of Tianqing world. From another perspective, the condition of Tianqing world was indeed a rare opportunity, as if all the conditions had aligned and been prepared especially for Lin Yuan. Sadly, if this secret technique were used in the main world, it would probably be crushed into dust by the vast consciousness of the main world instantaneously. Freeweb novel. Lin Yuan sighed. If one spoke of replacing world consciousness, the main world was naturally the best target. If he could replace the consciousness of the main world, Lin Yuan would become the undisputed #1 powerhouse among the 10,000 races of the cosmic starry sky. Even an invincible supreme being would have to yield to him. Unfortunately, a prerequisite for deploying this secret technique was for the world consciousness to fall into a slumber. And as for how to induce the main world's consciousness to sleep, Lin Yuan could not think of any way to accomplish that. A battle among supreme beings? With the might of a supreme being, one could create permanent spatial rifts spanning millions, billions, and even trillions of miles. But given the vastness of the main world, a mere rift of billions of miles, even a trillion light-year rift, would be negligible to the main world. There are about 10 years of residence time left. Let's start trying to replace the world consciousness. Lin Yuan didn't rest. Immediately after creating the secret technique, he began to implement it. Lin Yuan's consciousness began to sublimate, merging into the origin vast ocean of Tianqing world. This was a talent ability of the ancestral demon tree, but Lin Yuan's integration into it was not for consuming the origin, but was rather in preparation for the upcoming replacement. How wonderful! Is this the most primal region of the world? Lin Yuan scrutinized closely and could sense the endless energy fluctuations. Everything that happened within Tianqing world was reflected here. Having control over the origin source region was akin to having control over the entire Tianqing world. Those foreign evil gods are really too foolish, desiring to consume such a perfect place, instead of trying to understand and control it. Lin Yuan thought about the ancestral demon tree's craving for the origin of Tianqing world, that desire to devour it completely, and he shook his head slightly. This was also the thought of nearly all foreign evil gods. Devour, devour, devour. However, in Lin Yuan's view, this was almost the most foolish approach. It's like melting down a chip that integrates various high-tech achievements to forge iron. Wouldn't that be absurd? In fact, Lin Yuan was overestimating these foreign evil gods. The reason Lin Yuan could sense the mysteries from the origin source region was because of his against heaven's understanding. But foreign evil gods had very little understanding. They were largely driven by instincts, not perceiving the depth and distance like Lin Yuan. Let's begin. Lin Yuan breathed out lightly, and his consciousness began to expand and sublime. In just a few breaths, Lin Yuan's consciousness had disseminated into every corner of the origin source region. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 370. If the world spirit were not asleep but awake, it would have easily crushed Lin Yuan's consciousness at this moment. Without the slightest suspense, the consciousness dispersed into countless subtle parts could not withstand the overwhelming pressure of the vast world spirit. But the world spirit was asleep, and so that scene did not occur. Even so, Lin Yuan remained extremely cautious. Even with the world spirit asleep, dispersing his consciousness like this still held the risk of assimilation. Once assimilated, Lin Yuan would lose himself completely. Although he would eventually replace the world spirit, in essence, he would be no different from the replaced consciousness. Therefore, Lin Yuan was very vigilant. The moment an assimilation trend appeared, he would not hesitate to end this traversal. At that time, the door to the myriad realms would operate on its own, drawing all his consciousness inside and sending it back to the main world. This was Lin Yuan's greatest assurance in daring to attempt to replace the world spirit. He had the door to the myriad realms, which could prevent the most extreme situations from occurring. It was nothing more than an earlier return. For Lin Yuan, the loss was negligible. Time slowly passed, In the blink of an eye, 3 years had passed. In these 3 years, Lin Yuan's consciousness, following the operation of the origin power, merged into every corner of the Tianqing world. At this moment, the Tianqing world subtly began to undergo some changes. These changes were extremely minute, so much so that even the 7th-rank peak Tianqing alliance leader only sensed a fraction of them, and wasn't even sure about it. Above the sky, an enormous face faintly appeared, the face of Lin Yuan. His eyes alone spanned over 1,000,000 miles, overlooking every detail of the Tianqing world. Have I successfully replaced it? Lin Yuan thought to himself, as at this moment, with just a thought, he could appear anywhere in the Tianqing world. He didn't even need to appear to feel everything happening within the world. Am I the master of the world? Lin Yuan's consciousness returned, settling back into the body of the ancestral demon tree. In the Tianqing world, I am invincible. Lin Yuan's expression was thoughtful. At this moment, he had completely replaced the world spirit of the Tianqing world. The entire Tianqing world was like his own body, which he could control at will. This power is too terrifying. Lin Yuan couldn't help but be astounded. The feeling of controlling an entire world was too overwhelming, with the power of the world at his fingertips. Lin Yuan had a feeling that if he were to face the invasion of the ancestral demon tree at this moment, there would be no pressure at all. The biggest difference between Lin Yuan and the original world spirit was that he had concrete thoughts and ideas and was capable of any action. It was like the natural world's herbivores facing carnivores. Even if they were far superior in strength and size, they wouldn't dare to resist and would just wait to die when chased. The Tianqing world and the foreign evil god were like the herbivores and carnivores, respectively. The world spirit of the Tianqing world, having only basic instincts, faced the invasion of the foreign evil god and could only blindly use all its strength without being able to control the details. And now that Lin Yuan had replaced the original world spirit and controlled everything, any foreign evil god, unless there were dozens or hundreds of them, could be directly ignored. Origin Fine Gold. With a thought from Lin Yuan, the Origin Fine Gold appeared before him. Nearly 500 years of nurture had given the Origin Fine Gold a definitive shape. A bell-shaped object with many natural patterns engraved on its surface, ancient and vast, bearing the marks of the long passage of time. My requirement for nurturing the Origin Fine Gold was defense, absolute defense, not just on a physical level, but also to include protection for the spirit and soul, Lin Yuan said as he scrutinized the Origin Fine Gold. The preciousness of the Origin Fine Gold lay in its growth potential and malleability. The latter meant it could be shaped toward any type of weapon. Lin Yuan possessed against heaven's understanding. Given time, he could reach unimaginably great heights. So naturally, his shaping of the Origin Fine Gold was focused on survival. However, nurturing the Origin Fine Gold does indeed consume a significant amount of the world's origin source. 500 years of nurturing has reduced the world's origin source by at least 5 to 10%. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Don't underestimate 5 to 10%. Given the size of the Tianqing world, even the lesser 5% was enough to bankrupt an 8th-layer evolver from the main world. But it's worth it. Hundreds of years of nurturing have almost shaped the Origin Fine Gold. Once I return this time, it should be ready for use. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Given the great strength of the Origin Fine Gold, the intensity of its soul defense was on par with the treasures that protect the soul of an 8th rank. What's most valuable is that the Origin Fine Gold could be layered with other weapons and treasures. That is to say, Lin Yuan could guard his soul with both an 8th rank soul defense treasure and the Origin Fine Gold at the same time. Under the ancestral demon tree, the Tianqing alliance leader, together with the Vice Alliance hierarchs, protectors and elders, all gathered here. Master! The Tianqing alliance leader spoke respectfully, addressing the figure before him in a low voice. Master! The others did the same. All of you rise. Lin Yuan waved his hand. The form that he now revealed to the crowd was an incarnation, condensed from the power of the world. Having replaced the consciousness of the world and becoming the true master of Tianqing world, Lin Yuan could mobilize the world's power for his own use. Conjuring an incarnation was but a thought away. Next, I will be in seclusion, the duration of which is uncertain. Possibly hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of years, Lin Yuan said. In a few years, Lin Yuan's time to remain would reach its limit, and he would return to the main world. Although Lin Yuan had become the master of Tianqing world and the cost of descending again would be much lower, because of the different flow rates of time between the two worlds, the next time Lin Yuan descended, it might be hundreds or thousands of years later. Ah, the master is going into seclusion? Thousands to tens of thousands of years. That's far too long, said the Tianqing alliance leader and many others under his command, unable to hide their feelings. During my seclusion, the governance of Tianqing world should follow the directives I've left behind based on the measures and principles. Lin Yuan continued. The measures and principles he referred to derived from the civilization of human civilization in the main world. As one of the peak civilizations in the universe with a long history, humans have extensive experience in governing the life on a planet. These measures and principles were those Lin Yuan had learned from the main world. As long as they implemented these principles and maintained them with their formidable martial strength, Tianqing world would enjoy a long period of prosperity. And this, in turn, would be greatly beneficial to martial Tao. The more prosperous and thriving the world became, the greater and higher quality the number of martial Tao cultivators would be. All right, you may all leave, Lin Yuan gestured. The Tianqing alliance leader and others respectfully withdrew. In the upcoming years, Lin Yuan gave up cultivating altogether. Instead, utilizing the abilities of the world's master, he traveled to every corner of Tianqing world. For the world to function, life is key. Lin Yuan stood atop a mountain, looking down at a village wreathed in cooking smoke below. Without life, no matter how comprehensive the myriad rules contained, something would always be missing. Rules of life. Green glimmers flowed faintly within Lin Yuan's eyes. Like the space rules, life rules were one of the foundational rules critical to the world's evolution, how life is born. You're against heaven's understanding watches life proliferate, deepening your comprehension of life rules. Who would have thought, in these final years, I would actually have entered the gateway of understanding the life rules? A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Life rules were at the same level as space rules. Originally, Lin Yuan had expended considerable effort to reach the gateway of understanding with space rules. But now, understanding the gateway of life rules seemed to be much easier. This ease was due to Lin Yuan's current lofty stature, far beyond when he had first understood space rules, and his position as the world's master, which allowed him to feel the myriad forms of life in finer detail. Time's up. Lin Yuan's consciousness converged in his mind, seeing the door to the myriad realms suddenly burst into bright light. All the preparations and arrangements have now been made. Ewub novel. Calm Lin Yuan looked up in the direction of the ancestral demon tree. By now, he had replaced the ancestral demon tree's instinctual consciousness with his own. Even if he were to leave this world, he would still have it firmly within his grasp. He had deeply branded it with his own life's mark, ensuring that upon his next descent, he could instantaneously take possession of the world. I'm leaving now. Lin Yuan withdrew his gaze, and his form rapidly dissipated. His consciousness turned into a speck of light, entering the door to the myriad realms. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 371, In a Daze, Chikuan Main Star 13 Peaks. Deep within the Grand Hall, Lin Yuan slowly opened his eyes. 600 years. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yuan's gaze rippled as scenes from his experiences in the Tianqing world flashed through his mind, and then settled back into calmness. For someone like the Chikuan Star Lord, who had lived for hundreds of thousands of years, 600 years might just be a small nap. Even for his significantly younger senior brothers, first, second, and third, it might just be like closing their eyes for one meditation session, or the time it takes to practice a secret technique. But for Lin Yuan, it was already a protracted period. Even if adding in the previous times he had traveled, 600 years made up a substantial proportion of the total time. Sigh! Lin Yuan looked around. The world has changed. Lin Yuan's eyes were serene. After comprehending more than 1,000 core spatial models, Lin Yuan could now see the ripples caused by the fluctuations of countless forces of space everywhere his sight touched. If the Tianqing world was a small pond, for every ripple, Lin Yuan could trace back to the source and see the end. Everything was within his control. Then the cosmic starry sky of the main world was like a vast ocean. Any single spatial ripple could spread and affect places extremely far away, and even if Lin Yuan strained his eyes, he could only see a small part of the fluctuations. Different size of worlds, different perceptions and feelings. Lin Yuan appeared thoughtful. He clearly felt that, upon returning to the main world, the bottleneck restraint he faced when contemplating the core spatial models, if not entirely swept away, had dissipated for the most part. Let's not worry about these for now. Let's check on the connection between the door to the myriad realms and the Tianqing world. Lin Yuan's thoughts converged, his spirit delving into his mind, looking towards that towering and majestic door to the myriad realms. In the last 200 years in the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan had abandoned everything else, focusing all his energy on establishing a method to replace the world's consciousness. Such action was naturally not just to control the Tianqing world. If it were about controlling the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan really didn't need to bother so much. With the strength of the initial ancestral demon tree, who would dare not to obey where his will went? Lin Yuan's true goal was to transform the Tianqing world into a backyard and, from there, to entertain thoughts about the boundless outer void outside of the Tianqing world. Lin Yuan carefully observed the area below the door to the myriad realms. He saw that behind the marks of the 6 world coordinates, a 7th world coordinate mark was faintly forming. It was indeed the world coordinate of the Tianqing world. Lin Yuan watched the Tianqing world coordinate, and bits of information began to flood into his mind. As expected. Now, choosing to descend in the Tianqing world, the consumption of world-breaking origin force is only 1/3 of a strand? Lin Yuan was pleased in his heart. This precise descent into a world by using world coordinates consumes 10 strands of the world-breaking origin force. And now, it's only 1/3 of a strand, clearly indicating that the Tianqing world was no longer resistant to Lin Yuan's consciousness, and even actively welcoming it, greatly saving the consumption of the world-breaking origin force. 1/3 of a strand of world-breaking origin force is just over 90 days in the main world. A smile emerged on Lin Yuan's face. The normal time it takes for the door to the myriad realms to accumulate 1 strand of world-breaking origin force is 333 days. With the enhancement of the eternal spatial rift, it only takes 290 days for 1 strand. Also, through the world coordinates on the door to the myriad realms, am I vaguely able to receive many messages from the ancestral demon tree? Lin Yuan suddenly sensed something. The ancestral demon tree has now become the new world consciousness of the Tianqing world. That is, the heavenly Tao. And the ancestral demon tree is merely a vessel for Lin Yuan, quite similar to an avatar. Theoretically, they should share the same consciousness and memory. However, because the main world and the Tianqing world are in the boundless void so far apart from each other, Fieb novel. Not even in the same dimension, not in the same tier, and even the flow of time is vastly different. The perceptive connection between Lin Yuan and the ancestral demon tree was utterly severed. But through the door to the myriad realms, they were somehow barely establishing a weak connection. I didn't expect the door to the myriad realms to have this use too. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Through this faint connection, he roughly knew the state of the Tianqing world, and so the timing of his descent would be more precise. Even if the current consumption to descend into the Tianqing world is only 1/3 of a strand of world-breaking origin force, even if it were 1/10 of a strand, it is still world-breaking origin force and shouldn't be wasted carelessly. Having confirmed the connection with the Tianqing world, Lin Yuan then turned his attention to himself. Shall we take a look at the inner world? With a slight movement of his thoughts, Lin Yuan's consciousness descended into his inner world. Before the 6th traversal, Lin Yuan's inner world was only 10 miles in circumference. But now, as Lin Yuan's consciousness descended, many insights into the space rules merged, boom boom boom. The inner world welcomed a massive change. At the world's edge, countless forces of space converged, space vibrated, and the world's limits rapidly rose, leading to Lin Yuan once again fell into a kind of insane hunger. Upon stepping into the 7th rank and starting to carve out his inner world, Lin Yuan had this feeling, but at that time he had prepared enough red spirit fluid, so the creation of the inner world went extremely smoothly. But now, hold on, wait a second. Lin Yuan hastily suppressed the expansion of his inner world, for with his current understanding of the space rules, the ultimate limit of his inner world at the very least would span 10,000 miles. 10 miles in circumference versus 10,000 miles or more is not a simple increase by thousands of times. The demand for energy is terrifying. If Lin Yuan didn't suppress it, he might be drained dry. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 372, Actively Suppressing the Expansion of My Inner World. My behavior must be considered rare in the history of human civilization. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. In general, the expansion of an 8th layer evolver's inner world is gradual, primarily depending on the understanding of space rules. And grasping space rules, especially the core space models, would naturally not show a sudden leap in a short time but slowly improve. Thus, the expansion of the inner world could be achieved by naturally absorbing and exhaling external energy. As for Lin Yuan, who in an instant comprehended over 1,000 core space models, such a span, such magnitude, if spoken of, it's estimated that very few 8th layer evolvers would believe it. Apply for red spirit fluid. Lin Yuan immediately connected to the virtual network and began to apply for a large batch of red spirit fluid. I'll probably have to wait a few days. After completing the application, Lin Yuan thought to himself, if it were just a normal quota of red spirit fluid, Lin Yuan could apply now and expect it to be delivered in half an hour. After all, he was currently on Chiquin main star. But the amount of red spirit fluid Lin Yuan applied for was too vast, millions to tens of millions of times the amount he applied for when breaking through to the 7th rank. Martial Path Evolutionary Path 7th Rank Chapter. While waiting for the red spirit fluid, Lin Yuan began to scrutinize the 7th rank chapter. After the 6th revision spanning hundreds of years of continuous perfection, the Martial Path Evolutionary Path's 7th rank chapter was essentially formed. What was left for Lin Yuan to do was merely to make minor adjustments to it based on the various physiques of the evolutioners within human civilization. Even so, Lin Yuan felt that even this minor adjustment was unnecessary, as everything that needed consideration had already been considered while in the Tianqing world. Half a day later, Lin Yuan bundled up the organized 7th rank chapter and uploaded it to the Goddess of Wisdom. Respected Level 6 Citizen Lin Yuan, the 7th rank chapter you uploaded is currently being judged. Please wait. The solemn and cold voice of the Goddess of Wisdom came through. Meanwhile, on a mysterious planet far, far away from the Chiquin Star Lord, screen after giant screen flickered madly, beginning to analyze the potential and details of the 7th rank chapter of Martial Tao. Detected 7th rank chapter involves multiple paths, with increased ubiquity and follow-up. Detected 7th rank chapter in a few paths. There is the potential to open up an inner world. Reevaluation of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path begins. Found 7th rank chapter greatly improves adaptability to various extreme environments, likely to traverse the spiritless wastelands. Overall assessment of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path is raised. After judgment, the possibility of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path advancing to the 8th rank evolution path reaches 70%, while the possibility of it advancing to the 9th rank evolution path reaches 30%. Triggering the core contingency plan of human civilization, making contact with the Goddess of Freedom, the Goddess of Justice. After repeated confirmation by the 3 goddesses, the judgment of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path 7th rank chapter remains unchanged, maintaining the verdict. Beginning. Valuation of the 7th rank chapter. After judgment, the Martial Path Evolutionary Path 7th rank chapter is valued at 3 million merit points, and protective measures towards the founder of this evolution path have been increased. Lin Yuan patiently waited for the evaluation from the goddess of wisdom. It's been so long and still not out? Lin Yuan was slightly surprised. The longest wait he had previously experienced was when he had comprehensively altered the martial path, freeing it from the constraints of Yin-Yang Taiji. But this time, uploading the 7th rank chapter, the waiting time had already exceeded that instance by far. Just wait. The longer the wait, the higher the value. Lin Yuan was not concerned. What he had plenty of now was time. With my current realm, as long as I recover my full strength, I would be at the 7th rank king level peak. Then, my goal will be to break through to the 8th layer. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The most difficult step in breaking through to the 8th layer, opening an inner world, had long been completed by Lin Yuan. What Lin Yuan needed to focus on now was to strengthen his spirit will to meet the heart demon tribulation. However, there is no specific way to overcome the heart demon tribulation. The common means within the human alliance to pass it is simply to live long enough. Over the long years, even a pig, if it doesn't die, its spirit will won't be too weak. Next time I traverse, I might as well attempt to undergo the heart demon tribulation. If it doesn't work out, they'll just end the traversal and return to the main world. Lin Yuan thought to himself, considering this a sort of shortcut. By leveraging the traversal ability of the door to the myriad realms, he intended to make the heart demon lose its target. But whether this could actually succeed, Lin Yuan was uncertain. He didn't know what kind of existence the heart demon truly was. Was it from the outside world? Or did it stem from within oneself? If it was the latter, the shortcut tactic would probably be of little use. We'll see when the time comes. In fact, I haven't lived a short life. Including the time spent traversing worlds, it's been more than 1,000 years. Lin Yuan mused. The solemn and serene voice of the goddess of wisdom came through. Respected Level 6 citizen Lin Yuan, the 7th stage martial Tao chapter you submitted has been evaluated. Oh? How many merit points is it worth? Lin Yuan asked curiously. Given the waiting period, Lin Yuan judged that the value of the 7th stage chapter was very high. But how high exactly only the 3 goddesses could determine. Respected Level 6 citizen Lin Yuan, the 7th stage martial Tao chapter you submitted is worth 3 million merit points. The goddess of wisdom replied. 3 million merit points. Lin Yuan was astonished. He had thought that at most it would be worth 1 million merit points or perhaps close to 2 million. He hadn't expected as much as 3 million merit points. 3 million merit points on the battlefields of different races were equivalent to the lives of 3 8th rank alien race beings, and those were the original incarnations, not mere avatars. Yet, on the battlefields of different races, 8th rank aliens were extremely difficult to kill. The Chikuan Star Lord had devoured mostly avatars, while the true originals had long since fled to who knows where. Furthermore, an 8th rank alien race being was equivalent to an 8th stage evolver from the human civilization side, a highly influential figure who could request dominion over a star domain from the 3 goddesses and rule as a king. Not bad at all. Lin Yuan nodded slightly, pleased. The high regard the goddess of wisdom had for the 7th rank chapter indicated its potential, which in turn was a recognition of Lin Yuan himself. Let's check the specific details of the martial Tao evolution path now. Lin Yuan opened his personal panel to find the section on the martial path evolutionary path, an option only visible to the founders of an evolution path. Martial Tao evolution path, currently at 7th stage evolution path, probability of advancing to 8th stage evolution path, reaches 70%. Lin Yuan was stunned by this. A 70% chance of advancing to the 8th stage evolution path. This practically meant that as long as Lin Yuan didn't die, he would almost certainly be a future evolution grand scholar. The condition set by the Human Civilization Alliance for becoming an evolution grand scholar was to establish a complete, stable, and entirely new 8th rank evolution path. Despite being just one evolution path, the vast number of theories involved in its creation is like an ocean, and anyone capable of establishing an 8th stage evolution path is undoubtedly profoundly knowledgeable in many aspects of evolution. Becoming an 8th rank evolver might involve some stroke of luck, like acquiring an exotic treasure that could assist in establishing one's inner world. But becoming an evolution grand scholar has nothing to do with luck. It is a testament to one's own strength. Since its creation over 1,000,000 years ago, the Chikuan star domain has only seen the emergence of 3 evolution grand scholars. In contrast, the number of 8th-stage evolvers is in the hundreds or thousands of times greater. A 30% chance of advancing to the 9th-stage evolution path? Lin Yuan's expression became focused. This was the first time he had seen such an evaluation. Up until now, the limit of the martial Tao evolution path had been the 8th stage. 9th stage evolution path. Lin Yuan's thoughts churned. So far, he had no idea about the 9th rank chapter of the martial Tao evolution path. However, since the 3 goddesses were convinced that there was a possibility for the current martial Tao evolution path to ascend to the 9th stage evolution path, it indicated that the path Lin Yuan was on was correct. Otherwise, it would clash with the 9th stage evolution path, and there would be no possibility of ascending to the 9th stage evolution path. Right? Let's see where the martial Tao evolution path ranks on the Chikuan evolution rankings. Lin Yuan seemed to remember something and immediately clicked on the ranking section. Martial Tao evolution path, ranked first on the Kanglin evolution ranking, on the Chikuan evolution rankings. Lin Yuan's expression changed slightly, a look of surprise emerging. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 373. When the 6th stage martial Tao chapter was uploaded before, the ranking of the martial path evolutionary path on the Chikuan evolution rankings was 6th. This was already quite impressive. You should know that the evolutionary paths that could squeeze into the Chikuan evolution rankings were extremely powerful 7th rank evolution pathways, and the top 3 of those pathways even reached the 8th layer. They were from the 3 evolutionary scholars born in the Chikuan star domain. For millions of years, these 3 8th layer evolution pathways illuminated countless evolvers in the Chikuan star domain. It is unknown how many evolvers from the Chikuan star domain were influenced by these 3 8th layer evolution pathways. Therefore, for the martial path evolutionary path to enter 6th place in the Chikuan evolution rankings as a 6th rank evolution path was quite surprising to many. A 6th rank evolution path making it into the top 10 domains solely reserved for top-notch 7th rank evolution paths? And this time, with the upload of the 7th rank chapter, Lin Yuan thought the ranking of the martial path evolutionary path might reach 5th or 4th if better. Whether 4th or 5th, the martial path evolutionary path deserved to be called the strongest among the many 7th rank evolution pathways in the Chikuan star domain. However, when Lin Yuan actually saw the ranking of the martial path evolutionary path, it was somewhat unexpected. Chikuan evolution rankings. 2nd. This was the latest judgment of the martial path evolutionary path by the goddess of wisdom. Positioned 2nd on the Chikuan evolution rankings. It had crowned 2 8th layer evolution pathways. This is also... Lin Yuan slightly shook his head. He had thought that the ranking of the martial path evolutionary path would rise, but he had not expected it to shoot directly to 2nd. Even Lin Yuan found it somewhat frightening. Though in Lin Yuan's heart, for the martial path evolutionary path to ascend to an 8th layer evolution pathway was not a difficult task, merely requiring orderly enlightenment. The goddess of wisdom and the other 2 goddesses were unaware. In the judgment of the 3 goddesses, the probability of the martial path evolutionary path ascending to an 8th layer evolution pathway was 70%. But an evolution pathway that had only a 70% chance of enlightenment had suppressed 2 other evolution pathways that were already at the 8th layer. This was utterly inconceivable. What could be the reason? Lin Yuan pondered in his heart. The most important thing in the 7th rank chapter of the martial path evolutionary path was to pioneer an inner world. That is, to master the law of world opening. But this method was also possessed by 8th layer evolution pathways. And to ascend to the 8th layer evolution pathway, mastering the law of world opening was essential. However, not all evolvers of the 7th rank chapter could pioneer an inner world. Not clear. Lin Yuan did not know how the 3 goddesses made their judgment. But since it was so, it meant that to the 3 goddesses, the position of the martial path evolutionary path surpassed the ordinary 8th layer evolution pathways. Chicoin Prime Virtual World. Central Plaza area. Numerous evolvers gathered here to chat. The Martial Path Evolutionary Path. It's also unclear when that mysterious scholar will upload the 7th rank chapter. Indeed, I'm also looking forward to it. After the upload of the 7th rank chapter, what rank can the Martial Path Evolutionary Path actually achieve? What rank it can still reach? I bet that once the 7th rank chapter is uploaded, the Martial Path Evolutionary Path will definitely reach 4th, the strongest among the many 7th rank evolution pathways in the Chicoin Star domain. Right, when the Martial Path Evolutionary Path was at the 6th stage, it already competed against a group of top-notch 7th rank evolution pathways. When the Martial Path Evolutionary Path ascends to 7th rank, apart from 8th layer evolution pathways, who could possibly suppress it? Freeweb novel. Calm, numerous evolvers and high-level citizens continued to discuss. While some citizens questioned the timing of the upload of the 7th rank chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, believing that even for an evolutionary scholar, creating the present 7th rank chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path would not be an easy task, all evolvers shared an almost unanimous idea. That was, once the 7th rank chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path was uploaded, then the Martial Path Evolutionary Path would become the strongest 7th rank evolution pathway in the history of the Chicoin Star domain. Of course, many evolvers never imagined that after the upload of the 7th rank chapter, the Martial Path Evolutionary Path would surpass 1 or 2 8th layer evolution pathways. Because that was simply unrealistic. The transition from a 7th rank evolver to an 8th layer evolver involved a qualitative change. 8th layer evolvers, possessing an inner world and able to wield the power of a world with a mere gesture, could annihilate any number of 7th rank king evolvers. That was also why human civilization determined that as long as one was an 8th layer evolver, they could preside over a star domain and become a star lord. By comparison, the gap between a 7th rank evolution pathway and an 8th layer evolution pathway was even greater. Even the strongest 7th rank evolution pathway was still just a 7th rank evolutionary pathway, at best having a higher chance of advancing to an 8th layer evolution pathway. To compare with or even surpass a real 8th layer evolution pathway, how could that be possible? As the numerous evolvers debated in the Central Plaza area when the 7th rank chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path would be uploaded, buzz. The time arrived at midnight. The Chicoin evolution rankings started an update. Whoosh! A few breaths later. Update completed. Many sharp-eyed evolvers noticed that the previously 6th-ranked Martial Path Evolutionary Path had now vanished. Ha ha ha! I said that the time to upload the 7th rank chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path must be imminent, not too far off. Right, that's an evolutionary scholar after all, creating a 7th rank chapter of an evolutionary path. How difficult do you think that is? I am sure that this scholar who created the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, even among other evolutionary scholars, is a very powerful presence. After a few comments, the evolvers immediately looked up, eager to confirm how much the Martial Path Evolutionary Path had risen this time. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 374. Soon enough, evolvers were unable to find the Martial Path Evolutionary Path in the 4th or 5th spots and subconsciously looked up, only to see it ranked 2nd. In the blink of an eye, the Central Plaza area exploded into an uproar. Are you kidding me? Ranked 2nd. I remember the 2nd and 3rd evolutionary paths were both 8th layer paths, weren't they? Did the Martial Path Evolutionary Path surpass 2 8th layer paths? Could it be that the founder scholar has uploaded both the 7th rank chapter and 8th layer part? Otherwise, how could it possibly surpass the 8th layer evolution paths? No, I glanced at it just now, and at present the highest rank for the Martial Path Evolutionary Path is only 7th rank. My God! A 7th rank evolution path ranking actually surpassed an 8th layer evolution path? Countless evolvers were full of disbelief, feeling as if their understanding of the world was beginning to shatter. How could a 7th rank evolution path, even if it were exceptional, possibly surpass the lofty 8th layer evolution paths that gave rise to 8th layer evolvers? I have purchased the Martial Path Evolutionary Path 7th rank chapter, and I really want to see what's in it that made the three goddesses rate it so highly. Me too. The three goddesses are absolutely impartial. They wouldn't act out of favoritism. If the Martial Path Evolutionary Path can surpass the 8th layer evolution paths, it definitely must have something outstandingly remarkable. One after another, evolvers began to purchase the 7th rank chapter to find out more. On Chikuan Main Star, Lin Yuan stepped out of the Grand Hall amidst the 13 peaks and strolled around leisurely. Before the red spirit fluid arrived, he had nothing to attend to. As for further contemplating the space models, continuing that would soon push Lin Yuan's ability to suppress the natural expansion of his inner world to its limits. Rewebnull. C. Sigmium. Why is everyone discussing the Martial Path Evolutionary Path? Lin Yuan raised an eyebrow as he noticed many members of the Red Kuan lineage were talking about the Martial Path Evolutionary Path. The Red Kuan lineage was the absolute ruler of the Chikuan star domain. Ordinary matters hardly affected its many members. Thus, even when the Martial Path Evolutionary Path broke into the Chikuan evolution rankings at 6th place with its 6th rank chapter, it only sparked a limited discussion within the Red Kuan lineage. But now, the discussions had escalated to a broad scale, and it was not just widespread debate but involved everyone. The Red Kuan lineage typically paid little attention to 7th rank evolution paths, even the strongest one. But the 8th layer paths, each new 8th layer path indicated the emergence of a great evolver scholar. What's more, this time the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, with its 7th rank level basis, forcibly inserted itself into the realm of the 8th layer paths. It was utterly inconceivable. In fact, it wasn't just the Chikuan star domain discussing this. Nearby star domains and even the vast Anan Star Alliance were abuzz with evolvers talking about it. In the Crimson Palace, the Chikuan Star Lord purchased the Martial Path Evolutionary Path 7th rank chapter. Then, he began reading it meticulously. This evolutionary path does not constrain a specific direction but is based on the strengths of the evolver. It is indeed remarkable. The Chikuan Star Lord nodded slightly. Still, just on this merit alone, it wants to surpass the 8th layer evolution paths? The Chikuan Star Lord looked puzzled. If it relied only on popularity, it was virtually impossible to shake the status of the 8th layer evolution paths. No matter how many 7th rank evolvers there were, they couldn't compare to a single 8th layer evolver. Perhaps there's something I'm not yet aware of? The Chikuan Star Lord mused to himself. The 7th rank chapter of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path offered evolvers an enormous range of path directions to choose from, touching not only on the basic rules but also on fundamental pillars. Unless the Chikuan Star Lord decided to walk the Martial Path Evolutionary Path from scratch, it would be hard for him to notice the subtleties within. Forget it, it's probably the masterpiece of some old geezer from the Central Star domain. If I can't understand it, there's no use in looking any further. With a slight shake of his head, the Chikuan Star Lord also thought the Martial Path Evolutionary Path originated from one of the great evolver scholars, perhaps even a high-ranking scholar from the Central Star domain. The thoughts of such lofty scholars were beyond even the Chikuan Star Lord's comprehension. However, why did my clever disciple request so much red spirit fluid? The Chikuan Star Lord's thoughts shifted as he pondered. The amount of red spirit fluid that Lin Yuan had requested surprised even the Chikuan Star Lord. It was enough for an ordinary 8th layer peak evolver to practice for hundreds of years. For Lin Yuan, a 7th rank evolver, to request so much red spirit fluid seemed pointless. Nevertheless, although the Chikuan Star Lord found Lin Yuan's request strange, he approved it immediately. The Chikuan Star Lord admitted to himself that it was difficult to guide the cultivation of a prodigy like Lin Yuan. If he couldn't give guidance, then he wouldn't try. He would simply agree to Lin Yuan's various requests. Where on earth would one need so much red spirit fluid? The Chikuan Star Lord wondered, mulling over the possibilities. Could it be for cultivating an inner world? The Chikuan Star Lord's eyes lit up. In the past, when Lin Yuan had broken through to the 7th rank, the Chikuan Star Lord faintly sensed spatial fluctuations coming from the depths of the 13 peaks where Lin Yuan was. At the time, the Chikuan Star Lord assumed Lin Yuan simply possessed some kind of spatial treasure. Indeed, If one had a rare spatial treasure, it was possible to attempt cultivating an inner world even before reaching the 7th rank peak. But even for cultivating an inner world, he wouldn't need this much red spirit fluid. The Chikuan Star Lord fell back into doubt. Whatever the case may be, he'll just pay closer attention for a while. After thinking for a moment, the Chikuan Star Lord resumed his practice. A few days later, Lin Yuan looked at the water jugs laid out before him. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 375. The red spirit fluid contained within could certainly be described as a massive amount. It's finally been delivered. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. Time to begin expanding the inner world. Lin Yuan let out a sigh of relief. The commotion caused by the expansion of the inner world this time, I'm afraid it won't be easy to conceal. It suddenly occurred to Lin Yuan. When breaking through to the 7th rank, the inner world Lin Yuan had created was only 10 miles in radius. With Lin Yuan's grasp of power and deductions through his against heaven's understanding, it was enough to conceal his actions from ordinary 8th layer evolvers, who wouldn't notice a thing. But next, the inner world of Lin Yuan was about to expand to more than 10,000 miles in radius. Such a great disturbance would be hard to suppress. If left unchecked, it would alarm the entire Chikuan main star. With that in mind, Lin Yuan immediately contacted the Chikuan Star Lord. Teacher, I need your help to cover up my next cultivation practice. Lin Yuan's consciousness connected to the virtual world and arrived at the teacher's crimson-colored palace, where he was in seclusion. To the Chikuan Star Lord, Lin Yuan didn't need to hide anything. After all, this was his own teacher, and the Star Lord must surely be aware of the substantial amount of red spirit fluid he had requested before. Cover it up? The Chikuan Star Lord looked at his disciple, a smile appearing on his face. Not bad. My good disciple knows to talk to his teacher about things. Even if Lin Yuan hadn't said anything, the Chikuan Star Lord would have paid extra attention during this period. If Lin Yuan were truly opening up an inner world as the Chikuan Star Lord suspected, he would definitely help to conceal the disturbance. But Lin Yuan taking the initiative to speak up still put the Chikuan Star Lord in a good mood. Is it related to the inner world? Although the Chikuan Star Lord already had his suspicions, he still asked one more question. Yes. Lin Yuan hesitated for a moment, then nodded and said. Inwardly he was quite emotional. It was no wonder his teacher was an invincible being of the 8th layer. All his little secrets were probably seen through already. Very well. The Chikuan Star Lord was overjoyed upon receiving confirmation from Lin Yuan. Generally, only when an evolver was at the 7th rank peak and about to make the push for the 8th rank, with a sufficient foundation built up, would they attempt to open up an inner world. Now that Lin Yuan, still at the 7th rank, was attempting to open up an inner world, even by the standards of the Anon Star Alliance, it would be considered an exceptional feat. What the Chikuan Star Lord didn't know was that Lin Yuan had actually begun carving out his inner world while at the 6th rank. Go ahead. No matter the commotion. Your teacher will cover for you. The Chikuan Star Lord waved his hand grandly and said, Thank you, teacher. Lin Yuan expressed his gratitude somewhat emotionally. After Lin Yuan left, the Chikuan Star Lord grew curious. I wonder how many miles my obedient disciple's inner world will reach? 1 mile in radius? 3 miles or 5 miles? The Chikuan Star Lord pondered silently. Even a 7th rank peak evolver typically had an inner world with a radius of only 10 miles, and it was not until stepping into the 8th rank that their inner world would suddenly surge to 100 miles. As for Lin Yuan, who wasn't even at the 7th rank peak, the inner world he carved out would typically not exceed 5 miles in radius. Well, see. The Chikuan Star Lord looked in the direction of the 13 peaks. Being on the Chikuan main star, he was able to intervene instantly anywhere. With my teacher guaranteeing safety, I can begin. Lin Yuan's consciousness entered his inner world, starting to release the suppression. Boom, boom, boom. At the world's edge, space began to shatter, A great deal of spatial force converged, continuously deriving and enlarging the inner world. Outside, bottle after bottle of the red spirit fluid merged into Lin Yuan's body, serving as an energy supplement for the expansion of the inner world. Boom, boom, boom. As the inner world expanded wildly, threads of world force still leaked out beyond Lin Yuan's control. Faintly above Lin Yuan, a colossal world shadow began to form. The world shadow was vast and boundless, and in the blink of an eye, it surpassed 10,000 miles. Then, 20,000 miles, 30,000 miles, 50,000 miles. Inside the Crimson Palace, the Chiquan Star Lord was constantly monitoring the activity at the 13 peaks. When faint traces of spatial force and world force fluctuations reached the top of the 13 peaks, a smile couldn't help but appear on the Chiquan Star Lord's face. Lin Yuan's opening of an inner world before reaching the 7th rank peak indicated an extremely powerful talent and aptitude, and as his teacher, how could the Chiquan Star Lord not be delighted? 3 miles or 5 miles, closely observing the fluctuations formed by the escaping spatial force and world force, the Chiquan Star Lord reasoned from his experience that the size of the world shadow formed by these forces escaping was equivalent to the actual size of the inner world. The next instant, the Chiquan Star Lord's eyes widened. This is not good. The Chiquan Star Lord disappeared in a flash. In an instant, he arrived before the 13 peaks, then raised his right hand. The heavens and earth transformed, and this area was directly severed from the Chiquan main star. Boom, boom, boom. The enormous world shadow rapidly swelled. The Chiquan Star Lord looked up at the world shadow that had reached 80,000, 90,000 miles, momentarily at a loss for words. My good disciple, isn't your inner world a little too big? The Chiquan Star Lord looked down at the 13 peaks below, then raised his eyes toward the vast world shadow, now nearing 100,000 miles, and began to doubt himself. Was his obedient disciple really at the 7th rank or the 8th? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 376 Chiquan Main Star, Central Continent. 13 peaks. From the outside, this peak looked no different from usual. But in reality, this area had already been isolated by the Chiquan Star Lord using some method, and had been stripped from the original Chiquan main star. With the power of the Chiquan Star Lord, carrying out these actions went unnoticed by any of the evolvers on the main star. And all the evolvers within the isolated area had fallen into a deep slumber, unable to sense the vast changes in the outside world. Boom! The surging forces of the world and space continued unabated. The huge world illusion continued to expand rapidly, showing no signs of stopping even after reaching over 100,000 li. The Chiquan Star Lord stood alone in the void, silently watching the world illusion above. Exaggerated. It was indeed too exaggerated. The Chiquan Star Lord originally had high expectations for Lin Yuan. He thought that his clever disciple, before reaching the peak of the 7th rank, might be able to forge an inner world of about 3 to 5 li in radius. But what about the reality? The world illusion now was nearly 110,000 li. How could it differ by tens of thousands of times compared to before? An inner world with a radius of 110,000 li meant little to the Chiquan Star Lord. The Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan, a pinnacle lineage of cosmic bloodline, nurtured a small world within it from birth, and once it reached the 6th rank as an adult, the inner world could easily be several tens of li. Upon advancing to the 7th rank, the inner world would directly expand to several tens of thousands of li. Upon freshly advancing to the 8th rank, Chiquan Star Lord's inner world had surpassed 1,000,000 li. But these were the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuns, the favorites of the cosmic space origin, born with their own small worlds, a part of their innate talents. What about Lin Yuan? He was merely a human who, at the 7th rank, had managed to nurture an inner world surpassing 100,000 li. This was simply, the thoughts of the Chiquan Star Lord fluctuated. Are you the Starry Sky Wanderer Kuan? Or am I? The size of the inner world primarily depends on the understanding of the space rules, the Chikuan Star Lord thought to himself. The reason why Starry Sky Wanderer Kuns come with their own inner worlds is because these special beings begin to understand the space rules from birth, comprehending 965 basic spatial models. Additionally, some core spatial models are also on the verge of being fully comprehended. This is a huge advantage of being a favorite of the cosmic space origin. Even when compared with cosmic rarities like the world fruit and other forces forcibly forging an inner world. The size of the initial inner world could only be a few hundred to 1,000 li at most. After that, if one wants to further expand the inner world, they must advance in their comprehension of the space rules. Lin Yuan's inner world now being at least 100,000 li was something no cosmic rarity can achieve. It could only be accomplished through one's own accumulation in the space rules. An inner world with a radius of 100,000 li, at least 1,000 core space rules must be comprehended to achieve such a feat. My disciple, didn't he just comprehend the basic spatial models recently? The Chikuan Star Lord suddenly felt a sense of powerlessness. Lin Yuan's talent and comprehension were terrifyingly impressive. How long had passed and he had achieved such accomplishments in the core spatial models? Under 100 years old, comprehending 1,000 core space rules, this can only be achieved by that handful of people even in the entire Cosmic Human Alliance. If starting from scratch, not using any external objects, I estimate no evolver genius of the contemporary age could compare with my disciple. The Chikuan Star Lord thought silently to himself. In the central star domain and some other powerful star domains, genius evolvers have a high starting point, receiving numerous resources even before birth. Or like the Chikuan Star Lord himself, who seized the body of some terrifyingly talented special being, instantly elevating his starting point immensely. Many fortuitous encounters, many resources funneled their way, barely managed to create some evolver geniuses comparable to Lin Yuan of the current era. If one were to disregard those fortuitous encounters and the funneling of resources, Lin Yuan's natural talent would definitely be unmatched among the young generation of human civilization. The expansion speed of the world illusion has slowed down. The Chikuan Star Lord felt a slight relief. An inner world exceeding 100,000 li in radius was nearly approaching the inner world of an evolver at the peak of the 8th rank. Deep within the Grand Hall, with each breath Lin Yuan took, the power of the world overflowed. It finally stopped. Lin Yuan, conscious within his inner world, looked at the vast world spanning 120,000 li in radius, a smile forming on his face. Compared to the small world of 10 li radius previously, the current world of 120,000 li radius was almost equivalent to the size of over 10 Kanglan stars. I can feel that the inner world could still expand a bit more, but due to the limitations of the physical soul, it stopped at 120,000 li. Lin Yuan thought to himself. The size of an evolver's inner world mainly depends on two aspects. One is the individual's physical soul, which is the foundation that carries the inner world. If the physical soul is too weak, no matter how high one's spatial comprehension is, the inner world cannot expand very much. Lin Yuan, whose path of martial Tao evolution emphasized the body and whose soul had transformed into a primordial spirit, was equally powerful, thereby enabling him to sustain an inner world of 120,000 li in radius. The second is the comprehension of space. Now, Lin Yuan distinctly felt that his understanding of space had exceeded the limits of the physical body. It doesn't matter much. Such a vast inner world, nurturing the power of the world, virtually enhances my physical soul every moment. Lin Yuan closed his eyes, feeling the world's power flowing through him like a stream, nourishing his physical soul through his limbs and body. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 377. I am now a king of the 7th rank, but with such a vast inner world, ordinary 8th layer evolvers wouldn't stand a chance against me. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Even upon reaching the 8th layer, he would master many of the methods exclusive to 8th layer evolvers, But Lin Yuan's inner world was so vast, its worldly power so immense, that he could overpower craftiness with brute strength. Unless someone had an inner world of the same tier, facing Lin Yuan they could only flee. Next, I should try to break through to the 8th layer. Before that, I should strengthen my spirit will as much as possible, to better face the heart demon tribulation. Lin Yuan's goal was clear. With his current foundation, if not for the heart demon tribulation, he could easily break through now. To enhance spirit will, the common approach of human civilization is to experience more, to simply live on. But this is just the common way. There are many other methods that can fortify the strength of one's spirit will. Although Lin Yuan could take a shortcut to pass the heart demon tribulation with the help of the door to the myriad realms, such a method was not secure. Even if Lin Yuan used it, he would wait until he was confident enough to attempt it. Try casually, to undergo the heart demon tribulation without preparation. If the door to the myriad realms couldn't isolate the heart demon, wouldn't it be seeking death? How to pass the heart demon tribulation is of utmost importance to human evolvers. Once the heart demon tribulation is failed, death is certain with no chance for resurrection. Because the essence of the heart demon tribulation stems from one's own spirit, even if a supreme being intervened, forcefully resuscitating the body, one would still be in the state of undergoing the heart demon tribulation. By then, death would still ensue, because you cannot pass through it. Even if a supreme being intervened, they could save your physical soul or even true spirit consciousness, but they couldn't dispel the heart demon. The heart demon is still there, and as long as you can't get through it, you will die no matter how many times you are resurrected. In front of one's own heart demon, even the offspring of supreme beings are equal to all living beings. It's about time. I should go out and see my teacher now. Lin Yuan's insight into the space rules had long alerted him to the fact that the space outside had been completely isolated from normal space, probably due to the Chikuan Star Lord's actions to conceal the expansion of his inner world. The reason Lin Yuan asked the Chikuan Star Lord to help conceal it was that, even though opening an inner world at the 7th rank was astonishing and defied the heavens in the eyes of the outside world, even more so because the fluctuations of the inner world Lin Yuan had just revealed were far from being as simple as a newly opened inner world. So it was better to keep it concealed, if possible. There was no choice. The experiences on the battlefields of different races had made Lin Yuan wary. If it were a normal breakthrough, even to the 8th layer, Lin Yuan would not have been so cautious, but possessing an inner world that spanned more than 100,000 miles at the 7th rank was indeed unimaginable. Stepping out of the Great Hall, Lin Yuan saw that the Chikuan Star Lord had been waiting for a long time. Is everything all right? The Chikuan Star Lord looked at Lin Yuan and asked. Everything is fine. Lin Yuan nodded. My good disciple, you really do surprise me. The Chikuan Star Lord shook his head, his tone filled with emotion. What level have you reached in your understanding of the core space models? The Chikuan Star Lord continued to inquire. Core space models? Lin Yuan knew he couldn't hide from the Chikuan Star Lord and told the truth. Not quite 1200. In fact, if it weren't for the last 200 years in the Tianqing world, where Lin Yuan had given up on comprehending the space rules, he estimated the number of core space models he could have understood might have reached 1500. 1200, not yet. The Chikuan Star Lord sighed. This remark seemed somewhat deflated. Teacher, I've recently found that the deeper I go, the slower the comprehension of core space models becomes, and the more often I hit bottlenecks. Lin Yuan immediately said. The Chikuan Star Lord fell silent. It's normal. The Chikuan Star Lord couldn't help but say. For you to grasp 1200 core space models at this age, it's already rare, extremely rare. The Chikuan Star Lord said softly. If it weren't confirmed by the 3 goddesses, I would doubt whether you had been subjected to seizure by one of the alien strong ones. Lin Yuan smiled. Seizure? Indeed, like the Chikuan Star Lord who could seize the starry sky wanderer Kuan, other alien strong ones could also seize human evolvers. However, Lin Yuan's soul, having been verified repeatedly by the 3 goddesses, belonged to humans beyond doubt and was not of a different species. You have too powerful a talent for perception. The Chikuan Star Lord finally voiced his own feelings. For the longest time, the Chikuan Star Lord was described by others in such terms. Since with the body of the starry sky wanderer Kuan, The Chikuan Star Lord's understanding of the space rules had always been peerless. I might just be lucky. Rewebnol. Sigmam Lin Yuan said. Can luck always be on your side? The Chikuan Star Lord shook his head. However, now that you have created your inner world, the next focus should be on the spirit will. The Chikuan Star Lord's expression became slightly more solemn. For an ultimate genius evolver like Lin Yuan, there was a greater possibility of stumbling over the spirit will in the heart demon tribulation. Because everything had gone too smoothly in the beginning, without the slightest setback, one might subconsciously think little of the heart demon tribulation. After all, from 7th to 8th layer, it is widely acknowledged that creating the inner world is the hardest part, and even the most ordinary evolver can possibly overcome the heart demon tribulation. However, once this thought arose, problems could surface. In the over 2 million years of the Starry Sea era, countless evolving genius talents had fallen at the heart demon tribulation. I know. Lin Yuan nodded. He had never underestimated the heart demon tribulation. Although it's difficult to measure spirit will over the many years, our human civilization has still summarized a set of standards to roughly estimate it, and I will send them to you later. The Chikuan Star Lord said. This set of standards, even within the Human Civilization Alliance, is considered top secret, as it could easily be applied by different species. Therefore, only a star domain master like the Chikuan Star Lord possessed the specifics, which Lin Yuan could not see in either the virtual world or the Chikuan treasury. After seeing off the Chikuan Star Lord, Lin Yuan returned to the Great Hall. Inner world. Lin Yuan was getting acquainted with the power of the inner time. After all, his inner world, which had expanded explosively to a radius of 120,000 li, was filled with the vast world power. Someone's looking for me? Lin Yuan opened his eyes and accessed the virtual panel. Sure Feng. Lin Yuan connected his consciousness to the virtual world. Soon, a red-nosed old man appeared. It was his good friend from the virtual world founders circle. Sure Feng. It was Sure Feng who had helped him at the Anon Star Alliance conference, trading away his voting rights. Ha ha ha, brother Shersan, the Star Alliance conference is approaching. Don't forget to attend. The red-nosed Sure Feng said with a laugh. Of course. Lin Yuan nodded. He had received benefits from the Wangyue Starfield, so naturally he wouldn't forget. As for the threat from Jin Tianzhao of the Golden Dragon Star domain, Lin Yuan didn't take it to heart at all. Let alone Jin Tianzhao, even the Golden Dragon Star Master wouldn't dare to act against a 6th-level citizen. Lin Yuan chatted with the red-nosed Sure Feng for a while. Then he disconnected from the virtual world and his consciousness returned to reality. Speaking of which, I now have enough merit points to upgrade to a 7th-level citizen. Lin Yuan thought to himself. From 6th level to 7th level citizen, 2 million merit points are needed. Lin Yuan had thought that this was a far-off goal, one that would take several journeys to accumulate enough points. Yet, just one journey and uploading the 7th rank chapter had earned him 3 million merit points. The main reason was that the 7th rank chapter involved creating the inner world and was highly rated by the 3 goddesses. Let's upgrade. Lin Yuan's mind stirred slightly. In an instant, more than 3 million merit points in Lin Yuan's account decreased by 2 million. At the same time, Lin Yuan's citizen rank was upgraded from the original 6th level to 7th level. 7th level citizen. Lin Yuan's spirit shook slightly. One should know that ordinary 8th layer evolvers hadn't reached the 7th level citizen rank, as merit points were not that easy to accumulate. Before Lin Yuan could reflect further, a series of emails from the Central Star domain arrived, introducing the many privileges of a 7th level citizen. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 378, These Privileges. Lin Yuan meticulously perused the email sent from the Central Star domain. Every time Lin Yuan's citizen rank was promoted, he would receive blessings and introductions from the Central Star domain. Compared to a 6th-level citizen, the added privileges and benefits of a 7th-level citizen were not many, but each was significant. Firstly, every 7th level citizen would receive a 7th rank evolution elixir and a 7th rank longevity elixir gifted by the central star domain. The 7th rank evolution elixir was similar in use to the 6th rank evolution elixir. After consumption, it could promote one's physical soul to the 7th layer without any sequelae. Of course, this promotion referred only to a basic improvement. The abilities such as the understanding of rules that a 7th rank evolver realized were absent. The reason Central Star Domain did this was considering that many 7th level citizens perhaps were not high in evolutive talent. Throughout their lives, they might never be able to train up to the 5th or 6th rank. And the evolution elixir was to make up for this deficiency. Although lacking in understanding of rules, reaching the 7th layer could at least explode their lifespan to over 100,000 years. Plus, with the 7th rank longevity elixir, each 7th level citizen, regardless of how poor their evolutionary talent, could live between 200,000 to 300,000 years. Human civilization takes each 7th level citizen very seriously, hoping they live longer. This is also seen as a way to repay their contributions to human civilization, and perhaps those who live longer might be able to contribute even more. 7th rank evolution elixir Lin Yuan felt a slight emotion. Such an elixir that could promote a person to the 7th layer without any risk was coveted by countless major powers and noble families. Not for themselves, but for their beloved kin or favorite offspring and so forth. Unfortunately, so far, only the official human civilization could provide a stable supply of such evolution elixirs. As for other powers, the strength-enhancing elixirs they provided typically had some risks or hidden dangers. Automatically become a counselor of the Anan Star Alliance? Lin Yuan looked at the second privilege of a 7th level citizen. Anan Star Alliance, belonging to the Chikuan Star Domain, covers hundreds of surrounding star domains. Although the Anan Star Alliance doesn't have absolute command over the Chikuan Star Lord, it still has some degree of authority over its jurisdiction. Being able to become a counselor of the Anan Star Alliance is without exception a position held by absolute major figures, at the level of the Chikuan Star Lord, Golden Dragon Star Master. A typical star domain's Star Lord couldn't possibly amass 2 million merit points to elevate to a 7th level citizen rank. Currently, the Anan Star Alliance has 56 counselors, of whom 31 have concealed their identities, and the other 25 are well-known giants within many star domains. As a Star Alliance counselor, one has the power of veto. If one deems there's an issue in any dispute, it can be vetoed, awaiting the next Star Alliance Congress to reconvene and discuss anew. This power of veto can be used up to 3 times on the same issue, and after 3 times, it can no longer be applied. Lin Yuan glanced over the powers of a Star Alliance counselor. This mainly prevents any counselor from being unreasonably obstinate, but even so, it's quite astounding. Of course, the 3 goddesses granted the Star Alliance counselor such power because the debates that occur in the Star Alliance Congress generally have no significant impact on the grand scheme of human civilization. Or they do not touch upon any core or baseline issues related to human civilization. No matter who wins or loses, the result is more or less the same. Beyond the aforementioned, a 7th level citizen also has the right to permanently reside in the Central Star Domain, to request a guard troop led by an 8th layer evolver, the highest court pleading rights, among others. Lin Yuan meticulously reviewed it several times. With the status of a 7th level citizen, if Lin Yuan were to apply for a position with the Goddess of Wisdom, he would at least be a governor on some main stars of the Central Star Domain with high authority and weight. The position of a governor on a main star in the Central Star Domain is far superior in status compared to that of the Kanglan Star Governor, not even on the same level. Even some 8th layer evolvers very much desire to hold the position of a governor in the main star of the Central Star Domain, not just for the status but also as a stable channel for earning merit points. Unfortunately, I'm not really interested in management. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. The position of a governor requires spending considerable time on planetary management, generally appealing only to those 8th layer evolvers stuck at a bottleneck. But for Lin Yuan at present, it's the golden period for training, and opening up the 8th layer part of the martial path evolutionary path would be far better than any position as a governor. Respected 7th level citizen Lin Yuan, would you like to hide your 7th level citizen identity? The solemn and cool voice of the goddess of wisdom came through. After becoming a 7th-level citizen, Lin Yuan's information would automatically appear on the counselor list of the Anon Star Alliance. To protect the privacy of citizens, every 7th-level citizen has the option to conceal their identity. Currently, of the 56 counselors in the Anon Star Alliance, 31 have concealed their identities. Conceal it. Lin Yuan nodded. After concealing the citizen identity, the information displayed on the counselor list would be a code name preset by Lin Yuan. That is Shursan. Choosing the code name Shursan was an arbitrary decision by Lin Yuan, and he had no concerns about his real identity being exposed. The Anon Star Alliance encompasses hundreds of star domains and over 1 billion life planets, and there are countless things related to Shursan. Even the top divination masters, without a god's perspective, wouldn't associate Shursan with Lin Yuan. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 379. The two were not even on the same track. One was an evolver genius, the other the founder of an evolution path, each excelling in distinctly different fields. Anon Star Alliance official website. Suddenly, without any noise, an additional name appeared in the 57th position on the list of counselors. Shursan. This change immediately drew the attention of numerous evolvers and higher-level citizens. What? Our Anon Star Alliance has a new counselor? Identity hidden. I don't even know which star domain that 7th-level citizen is from. Need you ask? It must be someone from our star domain. Only your star domain can produce 7th-level citizens? Many evolvers discussed this heatedly. Under the long years of the Anon Star Alliance, there were only 56 counselors in total, so the sudden appearance of another one naturally sparked much curiosity. But for most evolvers, it was just a topic of curious gossip for a while. After all, Star Alliance counselors, they are too far removed from them, such high and mighty figures, where one might not even find one across dozens of star domains, are simply beyond their reach. Shursan. Shurfeng had just taken a sip of fine wine when he clicked on a link sent by a friend, looked at it, and nearly spat out the wine in his mouth. Damn! Isn't this a coincidence? Shurfeng found it hard to believe, recalling that he had a friend also named Shursan. It can't be. Shurfeng hurriedly contacted Lin Yuan. Personal space. Lin Yuan sat back leisurely in a recliner, listening to the sound of the creek surrounding him. Brother Shursan, I just saw on the list of counselors, there's an additional name, Shurfeng asked with a tense voice. This matter was too incredible, and although it was highly likely a coincidence, he still had to confirm it. It should be me, Lin Yuan said casually, no need to hide once becoming an Anon Star Alliance counselor, as long as he did not expose his true identity. After all, once becoming a counselor, many benefits of the Anon Star Alliance would naturally come to him, unless Lin Yuan intended to forego these benefits. Ultimately, he would have to interact with the outside world as Shursan. Really, Shursan, brother? No, Lord Shursan? Shurfeng stared dumbfounded. Even though he had speculated as much before coming, it still seemed unbelievable. Had he, Shurfeng, been previously addressing a lofty counselor as a brother? Let us sit and talk. Lin Yuan gestured with his hand. Yes. Shurfeng was far from relaxed. If Lin Yuan were only a 6th-level citizen, he could still joke and laugh, but 7th-level citizens were a completely different class. 99.99% of 6th-level citizens will never become 7th-level citizens in their lifetimes. This includes those at the 8th layer. Lord Shursan. Shurfeng was about to speak. Suddenly his expression changed. He paused for a few breaths, then cautiously said, People from the Wanghua Starfield have found me, asking if Lord Shursan is the Star Alliance counselor. The Anon Star Alliance official website, open to all citizens. A change in the counselors was a significant event for the Star Domain elites, as it could impact the future structure of the Star Alliance. Since the new name of the counselor matched Lin Yuan's alias, People from the Wangyue starfield immediately reached out to Shi Feng for confirmation. Tell them, Lin Yuan said nonchalantly. Yes. Shi Feng responded respectfully. Lord Shisan, people from the Wangyue starfield would like to meet you. Shi Feng ventured. Let's meet. Lin Yuan nodded. Moments later, a middle-aged man with a stern face arrived. It was the Star Lord of the Wangyue starfield. The Wangyue starfield was not a particularly powerful star domain, and its Star Lord was merely an ordinary 8th-layer evolver. Lord Shisan. The Wangyue starfield's attitude was slightly respectful. No matter Lin Yuan's actual abilities, as long as he could become a 7th-level citizen, his status could rival those peak 8th-layer evolvers, making addressing him as Lord quite appropriate. What is it? Lin Yuan looked at the Wangyue Star Lord. Previously, my Wangyue starfield and Lord had a deal. Should you vote for my starfield, you would receive compensation. Now it appears, my starfield neglected to provide sufficient compensation. The Wangyue Star Lord quickly stated. Oh, too little. Lin Yuan seemed to smile. The Wangyue Star Lord was rather sensible. The conditions previously offered targeted the 6th-level citizen Lin Yuan. Now that Lin Yuan was a 7th-level citizen, should the Wangyue starfield play dumb, Lin Yuan would merely vote simply, doing nothing else. Star Alliance counselors also possess voting power, with each counselor's vote equal to 10 of a 6th-level citizens. Right? In comparison with Lord Shisan's status, it was too little. Freeweb novel. Calm, the Wangyue Star Lord said. Lord Shisan must be aware of the disputes between my Wangyue starfield and the Golden Dragon Star domain. I know a bit. Lin Yuan nodded. The issues between Wangyue starfield and Golden Dragon Star domain stemmed from a resource planet. The border area between Wangyue starfield and Golden Dragon Star domain was a swath of space dotted with many dead stars. What is a dead star? It is neither suitable for human habitation nor possesses any resources. Such worthless planets are known as dead stars. Within the cosmic starry sky, such dead stars are most abundant. And whether it's a dead star or a normal life planet, none are static. Instead, they slowly move their locations, following the many gravitational forces within the cosmic starry sky. Among them was a dead star, moving from the border area between the Golden Dragon Star domain and Wangyue starfield into the Wangyue starfield. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 380. Afterward, people from the Wangyue starfield came to investigate and were shocked to find that this dead star was a resource planet containing precious resources. Its value was immense, being fully mined. It was worth at least 10,000 cubic universe crystals. This attracted the attention of the Golden Dragon Star domain. Evolvers from the Golden Dragon lineage argued that since the dead star had once been located at the border area between two star domains, it should be jointly managed by both, with them wanting to take 80% of the profits. The Wangyue starfield naturally disagreed. As the dead star had drifted into their territory, it naturally belonged to them. The two sides then began to argue. The Star Lord of the Golden Dragon Star domain, taking advantage of his wide network, proactively applied for this issue to be discussed at the Star Alliance conference, and we from the Wangyue starfield could only keep inviting other 7th-level citizens. The Star Lord of Wangyue said in a low voice. The Wangyue starfield is willing to pay 2,000 universe crystals to ask Lord Shisan to veto this matter and delay it as much as possible. The Star Lord of Wangyue revealed his purpose. The reason for the delay is because the resources of the resource planet can be collected. The longer the delay, the more resources the evolvers of the Wangyue starfield can collect. If they can delay past this Star Alliance conference and before the next one arrives, the Wangyue starfield is confident of collecting 70% of the resources. 2,000 universe crystals. Lin Yuan's expression remained unchanged. This remuneration was already considerable, as the legacy left by the 8th-layer evolutionist Oin contained only 1,000 cubic universe crystals. 2,000 universe crystals was already considered to be half a fortune for a seasoned 8th-layer evolutionist. If Lord Shisan thinks it's too low, Then make it 3,000 universe crystals. The Star Lord of Wuxia said through clenched teeth. Even if they successfully collected 70% of the resources, it would be worth approximately 7,000 universe crystals. Subtracting various costs, the Wuxia starfield would at most acquire about 6,000 universe crystals. Giving Lin Yuan 3,000 universe crystals was already very sincere. No problem. Lin Yuan nodded. Thank you, Lord Shursan. The Star Lord of Wuxia sighed deeply with relief internally. There are a total of 56 counselors in the Anon Star Alliance. Excluding those who rarely show their faces, there are only about 10 or so who regularly participate in the Star Alliance conference. And these 10 or so, the Star Lord of Wuxia couldn't invite a single one, either because they didn't want to offend the Golden Dragon Star Lord or for other reasons. Golden Dragon Star Domain. Golden Dragon Main Star. The Golden Dragon Star Lord sat on his golden throne, his consciousness connected to the virtual world. An extra counselor in the Anon Star Alliance? Code name Shursan. Why does this Shursan sound so familiar? The Golden Dragon Star Lord, what a being he was, after a bit of careful thought, confirmed that Shursan shared a name with the mysterious 7th-level citizen that Jin Tianzhao had upfront offended. The same name. The Golden Dragon Star Lord thought for a moment and immediately started to inquire. It's not a coincidence. This new counselor is that Shursan. The Golden Dragon Star Lord immediately sensed trouble. As if Lin Yuan were only a 6th-level citizen, he could be disregarded, but a 7th-level citizen. How many are there in the whole Anon Star Alliance? The reason the Golden Dragon Star Lord had previously ignored Lin Yuan was because he thought it would be many years before Lin Yuan could become a 7th-level citizen. Did it happen so soon? This Jin Tianzhao, always not making things easy for me, casually offended a 7th-level citizen? The Golden Dragon Star Lord's brow furrowed tightly, and he immediately summoned Jin Tianzhao. Did the master call for me? Jin Tianzhao had just finished his retreat and had received the summons from the Golden Dragon Star Lord. What's the matter? The master's tone doesn't sound good? Jin Tianzhao was somewhat nervous as he approached the grand hall of the Golden Dragon Star Lord. Jin Tianzhao. The Golden Dragon Star Lord looked down at Jin Tianzhao. What have you done? Fruibnal. Calm if you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 381, Teacher. Jin Tianzhao connected to the virtual network and immediately learned why the Golden Dragon Star Master was so dissatisfied. To think that casting the vote for that 6th-level citizen from the Wuxia starfield, he actually got promoted to a 7th-level citizen and became the 57th member of the Anon Star Alliance? Jin Tianzhao's eyes widened. He indeed had reservations about whether Lin Yuan would become a 7th-level citizen one day, but he hadn't expected that day to come so soon. That was a 7th-level citizen, not some common vegetable on the roadside. To be promoted just like that? How did he gather 2 million merit points so quickly? That Shurfeng, he was misleading me, saying stuff like Shursan is not over 1,000 years old. It's all fake, all of it. Jin Tianzhao was filled with grief and indignation. Although he was proud by nature, he wouldn't offend a senior 6th-level citizen for no reason. A senior 6th-level citizen not only has a stable network of connections, but more importantly, you have no idea how much groundwork and merit points the other party has accumulated. At the time, Jin Tianzhao found Lin Yuan unfamiliar, thinking the latter must have just been promoted to a 6th-level citizen, without much foundation. So his attitude was slightly stronger, since a newly promoted 6th-level citizen really wasn't much in the face of the Golden Dragon Star domain. When Jin Tianzhao reported to the Golden Dragon Star Master at first, the latter did not care too much. Who could have thought that this Shursan was actually so low-key that he might have almost gathered 2 million merit points when he was being threatened by himself? But the other party didn't say a word. Teacher, what should we do now? After a moment of silence, Jin Tianzhao quickly asked. Now, holding someone accountable was meaningless. What mattered was how to mend the relationship with that member. While the Golden Dragon Star Master was also a 7th level member, he certainly wasn't foolish enough to want to make an enemy of the same level without good cause. How much is that resource dead star worth in survey value? The Golden Dragon Star Master inquired. He also knew about the dispute with the Wuxia starfield and had tacitly approved it. After all, the strength of the Wuxia starfield, no matter how you looked at it, was far less than that of the Golden Dragon Star domain. As long as the actions of his disciples conformed to the laws of human civilization, the Golden Dragon Star Master wouldn't question them further. Teacher, that resource dead star, if fully mined, would yield resources roughly equivalent to 11,000 cosmic crystals. Jin Tianzhao immediately said. 11,000 cosmic crystals. Just give it up. Present it to the Wuxia starfield. After pondering for a while, the Golden Dragon Star Master stated directly, it wasn't worth it to offend a 7th level citizen over a mere 11,000 cosmic crystals. And whether the Golden Dragon Star domain could ultimately take over that resource dead star was another matter altogether. If Lin Yuan used his Star Alliance members' veto power, he could drag the matter out, giving the Wuxia starfield plenty of time to mine, drastically reducing the final profit for the Golden Dragon Star domain. Given these circumstances, it was better to take the initiative to give it up. It also showed goodwill towards that 7th level citizen. Give it up? Well, Jin Tianzhao felt a twinge of pain. Originally, according to the plan, the Golden Dragon Star domain would obtain at least 70% of the income from that resource dead star, which is about 7 or 8,000 cosmic crystals. These cosmic crystals, the Golden Dragon Star Master might not care much about, but his disciples were quite eager for them. Also, prepare a congratulatory gift. To be sent to that member, the value of the gift should be around 1,000 cosmic crystals. Remember, you deliver the gift. Don't say too much. Don't do too much. Just deliver it and then return. The Golden Dragon Star Master instructed after some thought. Should I apologize? Jin Tianzhao cautiously inquired. The gift is enough. Apologizing proactively is too deliberate and could backfire. The Golden Dragon Star Master shook his head and said, yes. Frueval. Calm Jin Tianzhao responded immediately. Chikuan Main Star. Deep within the 13 Peaks Great Hall. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. Mental Will Index. Lin Yuan carefully read the document sent by his teacher, the Chikuan Star Lord. The spirit will of life is not necessarily linked to one's strength. Of course, the stronger one is, the correspondingly higher the spirit will can be, but if one is not strong, it doesn't mean their spirit will is low. Spirit will is related to one's life experiences and insights. Over more than 2 million years in the Starry Sea, the evolutionary scholars of human civilization who studied the spirit, based on numerous cases of 7th and 8th layer evolvers from past generations, categorized spirit will into an index ranging from 1 to 10,000. This is the mental will index. Only when the mental will index reaches 10,000 does one have the certainty to pass the heart demon tribulation. Of course, it's not that one cannot go through the heart demon tribulation if the mental will index isn't 10,000, but evolvers whose mental will index reaches 10,000 generally can ascend to 8 layers smoothly. There are also evolvers with a mental will index less than 10,000 who have passed the heart demon tribulation, but such cases are uncommon and cannot be regarded as the general rule. Mental Will Index. Lin Yuan thought to himself. Normally, an evolver who has just entered the 7th rank has a mental will index of 1. Afterward, with continuous practice and more experiences, the mental will index gradually increases. Without deliberately training one's mental will index, even a 7th rank King's Index would be at most in the hundreds. Let's see what my mental will index is. Lin Yuan connected his consciousness to the virtual world. Since the concept of the mental will index was created, there naturally existed a method to measure it. Lin Yuan went to his personal space and directly requested the goddess of wisdom to measure his mental will index. Whoosh! In an instant, Lin Yuan found himself inside a spacious white room. Everywhere was a blank white expanse. Respected 7th level citizen Lin Yuan, without using any physical soul power, just with your own spirit consciousness, strike the surroundings. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 382 The solemn and cool voice of the goddess of wisdom was heard. Use only your spirit will to strike out in all directions. Lin Yuan appeared thoughtful, realizing that spirit will is also a form of attack, such as when Lin Yuan's gaze lingers on a 6th rank evolver for an extended time. Even without mobilizing any power, the other party would break out in a cold sweat, scalp tingling, unable to control themselves. This is the advantage of having a powerful spirit will. Begin. Lin Yuan closed his eyes. His massive spirit will began to strike out in every direction. The invisible fluctuations swept through, and if there were any 5th or 6th rank evolvers present, they would probably be so intimidated that they couldn't even get off their knees. A moment later, Lin Yuan ceased releasing his spirit will. What is my mental will index? Lin Yuan opened his eyes to check the results. Respected 7th level citizen Lin Yuan, after testing, your current mental will index is approximately around 7848. 7848. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. A normal 7th rank king who hasn't undergone special training for their spirit will usually has an index in the hundreds. But Lin Yuan was clearly not a normal 7th rank king, whether it was the vast inner world that emerged within him, the nurturing of the world's power on his physical soul and spirit will, or the 6 traversals and the baptism of more than 1,000 years experienced in different worlds. All of these had greatly enhanced Lin Yuan's spirit will. Not too far off from a mental will index of 10,000. Lin Yuan was in a good mood. Knowing the precise number of his mental will index eased his mind, and at least he had a goal to work towards. Virtual world. Personal space. After testing his spirit will, Lin Yuan returned here. How to train one's mental will index. Lin Yuan pondered in his mind. The Human Civilization Alliance indeed had many methods for training one's spirit consciousness, but they all required a lot of time. Essentially, they depended on living long enough to improve spirit will. At this time, Shi Feng with his red nose requested to enter, and Lin Yuan chose to accept. Shi Feng's figure appeared not far away, and he respectfully said to Lin Yuan, Lord Shisan. Lin Yuan glanced at red-nosed Shi Feng and responded casually. This is a congratulatory gift for Lord Shisan's promotion to 7th level citizen. Red-nosed Shi Feng immediately said. There's no need for this between you and me. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. Ever since his codename appeared on the Anon Star Alliance's council member list, the number of gifts Lin Yuan had received already exceeded 10,000, mostly from the forces of various star domains within the Anon Star Alliance, as well as some 7th and 8th layer evolvers. Typically, the value of a single gift is around 100 million cosmic coins. For star domain level powers, they tend to offer gifts valued at 10 billion cosmic coins. From these gifts alone, Lin Yuan's net worth had soared several times over. 100 million cosmic coins are roughly equivalent to a cubic universe crystal, and all the gifts together amounted to over 10,000 cubic universe crystals. To think, Lin Yuan had once been overjoyed to obtain 1,000 cubic universe crystals from 8th layer evolutionist Oin's legacy. In the blink of an eye, the value of the gifts he received had reached over 10,000 cubic crystals. This is the status of a 7th level citizen. Lin Yuan mused privately. 7th level citizens might not hold specific power, but their status is quite high, and they have significant privileges at certain important meetings. The Anon Star Alliance encompasses hundreds of star domains, and currently, there are just 56 living 7th level citizen council members, with Lin Yuan its 57. The emergence of each new council member is a significant event for the entire Anon Star Alliance. If Lin Yuan hadn't hidden his identity and only displayed a codename, he probably would have received even more congratulatory gifts. Teacher also sent me a gift. Lin Yuan seemed to recall something, his eyes showing a trace of amusement. Not long ago, the Chiquan Star Domain also sent him a gift valued at 10 cubic universe crystals. The Chiquan Star Lord is also a council member of the Anon Star Alliance, though the Star Lord generally couldn't be bothered to attend the Star Alliance conferences. At his level, it's breaking through to the 9th rank that is his primary concern. This promotion to a 7th level citizen, Aside from the benefits officially given by the human civilization, just the gifts from others alone are worth nearly 20,000 cubic universe crystals. Lin Yuan calculated in his heart. Among these, the congratulatory gift from the Wuxia starfield was the largest. In addition to the original 3,000 cubic universe crystals as compensation, after learning that the Golden Dragon Star domain had voluntarily given up that resource-depleted dead star, the Wuxia Star Lord sent an additional 2,000 cubic universe crystals as a congratulatory gift. Considering the previous investments made to win over Lin Yuan's vote, the Wuxia starfield could be said to have spent a fortune. Moreover, perhaps with the intention of making amends, the Golden Dragon Star domain proactively offered a congratulatory gift worth 1,000 cubic universe crystals. All the gifts combined were worth a total of 19,862 cubic universe crystals. The speed at which higher-level citizens accumulate wealth is just too exaggerated. Lin Yuan felt slightly emotional in his heart. It's known that the entire fortune of the 8th layer evolutionist Oin in universe crystals is just 1,000 cubic universe crystals, and while most of them were used to exchange for an 8th rank soul defense treasure, it also shows the amount of liquid universe crystals a regular 8th layer evolutionist would have. Of course, Oin was an 8th layer evolutionist from 1,000,000 years ago, and today's 8th layer evolutionists in the Human Civilization Alliance are much wealthier, but even they wouldn't normally have more than 5,000 cubic universe crystals at their disposal. Now, with the universe crystals Lin Yuan had on hand, including his previous savings, he easily had tens of thousands of cubic universe crystals, which even among 8th layer evolutionists would be considered wealthy. With these universe crystals, I could procure some cosmic oddities to replenish my inner world. Lin Yuan silently thought. An 8th layer evolutionist's inner world is initially just a world shell that needs constant improvement, through understanding of rules, enrichment with material treasures, and so on. For example, a cosmic rarity named sands of flowing water, when placed in the inner world, can enrich the operation of the inner world with the nourishment of the water's origin source. Deep within the 13 Peaks Great Hall, Lin Yuan was just about to sense the changes in his inner world, when he noticed that his senior brother and other fellow disciples had returned to Chikuan Main Star. The senior brothers are back? Lin Yuan immediately got up, planning to visit his fellow disciples. Recently, the insect race, seeking to attract the attention of human civilization, started a clearing operation against human evolvers on many battlefields of different races. Many 6th, 7th, and even 8th rank evolvers perished in that cleanse. Afterwards, the Human Civilization Alliance reacted swiftly, promptly mobilizing many evolvers from various star domains to carry out retribution against the different species on the battlefields. The senior brother, the second senior brother, and others led their respective armies of evolvers to the battlefields of different races. Has the clearing operation ended? Lin Yuan guessed in his heart and soon joined his fellow disciples. Junior brother, you're here? The 12 senior brothers showed smiles on their faces as they saw Lin Yuan. Junior brother. The senior brother greeted Lin Yuan. Senior brother, you? Lin Yuan observed the senior brother closely. His expression slightly shifted. With his sharp perception, he faintly noticed an icy aura surrounding the senior brother, as if he had suffered some injury. As expected of our junior brother. You noticed so quickly. The senior brother almost provoked an 8th rank alien race to take action on the battlefield. Although nothing serious happened in the end, he was still affected. That 8th rank alien race was skilled in soul attacks. Luckily, the senior brother had a soul defense treasure to protect himself, or it could have been disastrous. The other disciples spoke up one after another, explaining the situation to Lin Yuan. Soul attack. Lin Yuan's expression changed slightly. Soul attacks are unpredictable and insidious. Even the 8th layer evolutionist Oin fell prey to a soul attack. Even Lin Yuan took the defense against soul attacks very seriously, incorporating soul defense into his crafting with origin fine gold. It's okay, our teacher has already had a look, and there's no major issue. I should recover after some time, the senior brother said, waving his hand. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 383, Facing the Killing Intent of the 8th Rank Alien Race. I reflected a lot. The eldest disciple sat down and chatted leisurely with his junior brothers. What did you reflect on? The second disciple couldn't help but ask. My mental will index is not high enough, the eldest disciple said solemnly. If my mental will index reached 9,000, with the help of soul defense treasures, even if injured, the severity wouldn't have been so great. The third disciple nodded and said, the stronger the spirit will, the stronger the resistance to soul attacks. If the soul strength is the soldier, then the spirit will is the general capable of commanding vast amounts of soul strength for defense. I can feel that after experiencing this life and death crisis, my spirit consciousness will enter a period of growth, and there is hope for reaching the 8th layer. A smile appeared on the eldest disciple's face. That was also why the Chikuan Star Lord didn't completely eradicate the dark aura from him. The eldest disciple needed to better sense that dark aura to stimulate his own spirit will. Indeed, facing a life and death crisis can lead to a transformation of the spirit will. Lin Yuan nodded and said, throughout the long Starry Sea era, those scholars of evolution had studied the spirit will quite thoroughly. To increase the spirit will, one needs to spend a lot of time experiencing. And experiencing what? Including life and death crises. Life often bursts forth with great potential under the threat of death, leading to deeper insights, and naturally, the spirit will is also affected. This method isn't suitable for me. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. With the slow nurturing of the inner world, even if Lin Yuan remained inactive, his spirit will would continue to grow slowly. Reaching 10,000 on the mental will index was merely a matter of time. Face life and death danger? Death meant truly dead. Although with Lin Yuan's current displayed talent, even if he truly died, he would be resurrected after a long passage of time. But it's better not to die if possible, and Lin Yuan was also unclear what changes would happen to the door to the myriad realms deep in his mind after his death. All right, I'm going to enter seclusion now. The eldest disciple got up. His spirit was high, and this experience gave him great confidence in advancing to the 8th layer. Returning to the 13 Peaks Great Hall, Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. The human race's clearing of the battlefields of different races is indeed almost over. Lin Yuan chatted with his senior brothers for more than an hour and roughly knew the situation on the battlefield. Let's take a look. Lin Yuan connected his consciousness to the virtual world and began searching for relevant videos. With the authority of a 7th-level citizen, Lin Yuan quickly found information about the battlefields of different races. The Heiyuan clan. Lin Yuan clicked on the clearing video related to the Heiyuan clan. As a large secret realm within the cosmic secret realm, the Heiyuan secret realm has a diameter of about 10 light-years and appears like a black hole on the outside. However, in the video, one after another human race evolver descends, with star fortress bases comparable to stars spanning across. The Heiyuan clan deserve to die. At that moment, a human race evolver appears, standing in the void, his shape vaguely blending with the universe, and amidst his indistinct form, he radiates an incredibly terrifying aura. Whoosh! This human race evolver raises his right hand and presses towards the distant Heiyuan secret realm. All of a sudden, space shatters violently, and the Heiyuan secret realm, with a diameter of 10 light-years, begins to disintegrate from its edges into dust. Who exactly is it? Who is destroying the foundation of my Heiyuan clan? Roars of rage come from the Heiyuan secret realm as 5 or 6 towering figures emerge. Their auras, similar to the human race evolver, vaguely blend with the universe, but the auras they emanate are far inferior to the latter. Nalan, with your esteemed status, why bother personally striking my Heiyuan clan? The 5 or 6 towering figures emerging from the Heiyuan secret realm are struggling to resist the hand that the human race evolver is pressing down. Nalan doesn't respond but continues to steadily turn the edges of the Heiyuan secret realm into dust. During this time, the 5 or 6 towering figures desperately resist but to no avail. After more than 10 minutes, A tear in space opens in the distance. A nest the size of a planet appears. Humph. Naylan withdraws his right hand, glancing at the Heywin's secret realm that has already disintegrated by 1/10, then turns to leave. The video ends here. Lin Yuan watches in shock and wonder. A 9th rank evolver, that Naylan must be at least a 9th rank evolver. Lin Yuan is very certain in his heart. Not just any 9th rank evolver, but an exceedingly strong existence among them, capable of overpowering the Heywin clan's 5 or 6 9th ranks without them daring to resist. One can imagine how strong he must be. Vice Tower Master? Lin Yuan quickly catches on to this title. The current human civilization has 9 supreme beings, who preside over the 9 evolution towers, illuminating the cosmic starry skies throughout the ages. So, the 9 supreme beings are also known as the 9 Tower Masters. To directly obliterate 1/10 of the Heywin secret realm, that's an area of a light year. I wonder how many beings of the Heywin clan were directly wiped out. Lin Yuan looks at the video's end, the somewhat damaged Heywin secret realm. Indeed, if it hadn't been for the arrival of the insect race powerhouses, perhaps more than 1/10 of the realm would have been crushed. After watching the video, Lin Yuan disconnects from the virtual world and sits cross-legged, falling into silence. I'm so grateful to be living in the absolute peak period of human civilization. Lin Yuan silently thinks to himself. In the cosmic starry sky, only power and sufficient strength can protect everything. If the human civilization were about the same as the Black Abyss civilization and were targeted by the insect race, they would only be able to swallow everything and not dare to speak out. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report, so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 384. Martial Path Evolutionary Path. Lin Yuan pondered for a while, opened the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, and checked the number of evolvers at each stage. First tier chapter, 263,897. Second layer chapter, 125,600. Third rank chapter, 2,421. Fourth rank chapter, 307. It has grown so much? A smile spread across Lin Yuan's face. Just the number of evolvers at the first tier had reached more than 260,000, which meant that the unranked martial arts evolvers might exceed 1 million. Lin Yuan was very satisfied with this. It is worth noting that the Martial Path Evolutionary Path had only appeared a few years ago. Being able to attract so many evolvers to cultivate in such a short time was truly incredible. It must be those earlier released training videos that played no small part. Lin Yuan thought silently to himself. Apart from the Martial Path Evolutionary Path, the cultivation analysis videos that broke into the Chiquan evolution rankings and gained massive exposure must have also contributed significantly. They could lower the threshold for martial arts cultivation a bit more. The analysis videos for the 3rd and 4th rank chapters must not stop. Whenever there's time, let's produce them. Lin Yuan made up his mind. He then turned his gaze to the revenue share of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path. 2,275 trillion? Lin Yuan was startled, and indeed, there were many zeros following that figure. Most of this revenue comes from the sales of the 7th rank chapter. Lin Yuan thought to himself. His pricing for the 7th stage Martial Tao chapter was 500 billion. After uploading the 7th rank chapter, it directly entered 2nd place on the Chiquan evolution rankings, pushing down 2 8th layer evolutionary paths. Countless evolvers were curious about the 7th stage Martial Tao chapter, and even if they did not cultivate it, buying it to watch was not an issue. This was still in a comparatively short time. Other star domains and the Star Alliance might not yet be aware of the number of evolvers following the Martial Path Evolutionary Path. As time passes, the fame of the Martial Path Evolutionary Path would spread wider and wider, and Lin Yuan's revenue share was about to see another surge. 2,275 trillion, converted into cosmic currency, that's 2,275 billion, which is 2,275 cubic cosmic crystals. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. The upload of the 7th rank chapter turned the Martial Path Evolutionary Path into a golden goose, with each share of revenue bringing in thousands of cubic cosmic crystals, equating to the total fluid cosmic crystals of a regular 8th layer evolver. In the future, if Lin Yuan could create the 8th layer chapter of the Martial Path evolutionary path, even 9th rank evolvers might envy the wealth he possessed. With my current cosmic crystals, I could indeed purchase a few treasures to perfect my inner world. Lin Yuan silently thought to himself. The inner world, after all, was not a naturally derived world. Although it had a framework and nearly infinite potential for growth, in the early stages, evolvers had to continually invest in it. The investment here involved understanding the rules, as well as rare treasures to compensate for the deficiencies of the inner world. Primordial fire, which can bring bright flames to the inner world, fostering the birth of fire system origin rules. Bought. Essence of the earth, bought. Lin Yuan, in one breath, bought several types of rare treasures, spending over 10,000 cubic universe crystals before stopping. That should be enough. Lin Yuan glanced at the cosmic crystal balance in his account and immediately felt a pang of pain. These rare treasures, capable of compensating for the deficiencies of the inner world, were all extremely expensive, and even Lin Yuan was choosing them carefully. The cultivation of an 8th layer evolver involves constantly perfecting the inner world. The more complete the rules within the inner world, the greater the benefits they offer to 8th layer evolvers. Teacher's inner world, I estimate, is no different from the real world. Lin Yuan thought to himself, as his inner world, though spanning over tens of thousands of miles, was still barren. Having done all this, Lin Yuan planned to continue pondering on how to swiftly enhance his own spirit will. Just at that moment, Chikuan Star Lord sent a message. Come to me immediately. The tone of Chikuan Star Lord was very serious. Could it be that something serious has happened? Lin Yuan looked puzzled but still immediately got up and headed towards the most majestic main peak on the central continent of Chikuan Main Star. Scarlet Red Hall. Chikuan Star Lord was seated high above. Lin Yuan and the other peak masters stood below. Teacher, what exactly is going on? The second brother asked curiously. A significant matter. Chikuan Star Lord glanced at the second brother, looking towards the other peak masters. This is a great opportunity for you. As Chikuan Star Lord spoke, his gaze lingered on Lin Yuan for a moment. A great opportunity? What great opportunity? Teacher, could you clarify? The fellow brothers couldn't help but ask. Seeing this, Chikuan Star Lord didn't beat around the bush and straightforwardly said, Recently, a supreme being of our human civilization fought against the supreme beings of several other races on a large alien battlefield and retrieved a part of a body. Upon hearing this, the peak masters suddenly realized. Recently, a corpse had drifted through the eternal spatial rift located on the large alien battlefield. The insect race, in their scheming for this corpse, had not hesitated to purge human evolvers in some local battles. This was to attract the gaze of the highest beings of human civilization, but obviously, the insect race's scheme had failed as the top diviner of human civilization had noticed the corpse early on. Even the supreme beings of the other peak clans had sensed it and had preemptively blocked the large alien battlefield. The moment the corpse drifted in, several supreme beings attacked simultaneously. Eventually, the corpse was torn apart, and the supreme beings of human civilization and those of other races each seized a part of the body. Teacher, do you mean our great opportunity is related to that segment of the body? The third brother asked incredulously. He had always thought that a body worth fighting over by supreme beings must be very important and had nothing to do with evolvers like them, who were not even 8th rank. Even Lin Yuan was somewhat curious. What kind of body could attract the attention of supreme beings? Indeed, Chikuan Star Lord nodded. The supreme beings of our human civilization decided to select some evolvers from each star domain to try to comprehend that part of the body. Chikuan Star Lord spoke. Comprehend that part of the body? This statement made the brothers' pupils shrink slightly. Although they did not know the exact level of the corpse that had entered the large alien battlefield. Being contested over by several supreme beings likely placed it at the supreme being level as well. A body of a supreme being? One should know, Whether it was human evolvers or the strong ones from other races, their flesh and blood contained the Tao and direction they pursued. A body comparable to a supreme being represented a sky-reaching great Tao to the supreme level. Even understanding just a little bit would be unprecedented help for them. Afterward, Chikuan Star-Lord advised some details and then let the Peak Masters go back to prepare. Teacher. Lin Yuan remained in place. This was also Chikuan Star-Lord's intention. That segment of the body is not so easy to comprehend. I don't have much hope for your brothers. It's merely going through the motions. Chikuan Star-Lord stated bluntly. But you... Chikuan Star-Lord observed Lin Yuan carefully. Lin Yuan's talent was definitely the strongest he had ever seen, especially his intuitiveness in the aspect of space rules, unbelievably astounding, even more exaggerated than him, a starry sky wanderer Kuan. However, intuitiveness also has focal points. Just like a genius who excels in math and physics may not do better than an average person in languages and geography. Chikuan Star-Lord was certain Lin Yuan's intuitiveness in space rules was unbelievably high, but the force nature contained in that part of the body was not space. That part of the body is rather peculiar. If you sense something amiss, do not force it. Chikuan Star-Lord specifically warned. Even without that part of the body, Lin Yuan could still grow to the 8th layer, and possibly even strive for the 9th rank. So in Chikuan Star-Lord's view, Lin Yuan had more choices. I understand. Lin Yuan nodded. He also asked another question. Teacher, is comprehending that part of the body reliant on one's own intuitiveness? Yes, it requires an intuitiveness that matches that part of the body. Chikuan Star-Lord emphasized this. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded. Since it depended on intuitiveness, he felt reassured. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 385. As Lin Yuan knew, understanding indeed had its focus on different aspects. Even the most monstrously talented geniuses in the history of human civilization had their weak points. Those evolutionary scholars were even more deeply rooted in diverse domains, such as mental consciousness, certain or perhaps a class of rules, life essence, and so on. Therefore, the reminder from Chikuan Star-Lord was not without merit. The body part originated from outside the main world and was entirely different from anything Lin Yuan had encountered so far. The talent and understanding that Lin Yuan had displayed might not necessarily be effective on that body part. What Chikuan Star-Lord didn't know was Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding was omnipotent. This had been fully verified through the past 6 travels. 6 journeys, 6 worlds. These 6 worlds came from different dimensions, different realms, especially the last one, the Tianqing world, which even harbored the presence of a foreign evil god. Yet, Lin Yuan's against heaven's understanding faced no obstructions or discomfort. Teacher? Lin Yuan looked at the Chikuan Star-Lord. Why would supreme beings release this body part for us to comprehend? This was also a question in Lin Yuan's heart. Even if they wanted to give opportunities to their juniors, would they do it in such an almost semi-public manner? I've only heard. Chikuan Star-Lord pondered for a while. You should know, supreme beings are unique. They represent the ultimate existence on an evolutionary path. Theoretically speaking, as long as this supreme being is alive, the evolutionary path, or rather the standing Tao, he's on, will not produce another supreme being. Chikuan Star-Lord spoke slowly. I've heard about that. Lin Yuan nodded. That's why, for today's Human Civilization Alliance, they are inclined to pour resources into creating new evolutionary paths, because the more evolutionary paths there are, the greater the hope of birthing another supreme being. Of course, for the vast majority of human evolvers, there's no hope of becoming supreme beings, hence many evolvers walk paths that have already produced a supreme being. These 9 supreme evolution paths, since they were able to birth supreme beings, imply they are very complete and powerful, allowing one to crush other evolvers at the same level, even without the possibility of becoming a supreme being. However, officials of human civilization, the 3 goddesses, and the 9 supreme beings still hope that human evolvers will explore other evolutionary paths. Supreme beings are difficult to kill, even nearly immortal. They exist eternally. As Chikuin Star Lord reached this point, a spark flashed in his eyes. But now, a supreme being has died. He's died, and the ultimate position on the path he was on has emptied. So that's how it is. Lin Yuan's expression showed sudden realization. Through that body part, it might be possible to comprehend the path walked by the deceased Supreme Being. A path that has once produced a Supreme Being has proven its sufficiency and perfection, and as long as conditions are met, for instance, the death of that Supreme Being, it could birth a second Supreme Being. It's equivalent to a road leading straight to heaven, a great Tao that leads directly to the level of Supreme Beings. For other evolutionary paths that haven't produced Supreme Beings, even evolvers on these paths don't know if they can take that step. Otherwise, human civilization wouldn't just have 9 Supreme Beings by now. Bear in mind, the evolutionary paths that human civilization holds are as boundless as the sea of stars. But now, the path walked by the owner of that body part has been confirmed capable of producing a Supreme Being. Who wouldn't be tempted by this? The Supreme Beings of human civilization took the initiative to release that body part, allowing countless evolvers to comprehend it, in hopes that some human evolvers can walk the path of the Bodhi's owner and ultimately become a new Supreme Being. Originally, the insect race intended to monopolize this body, thus securing another path leading to Supreme Beings for themselves. But now, that body has been split into several parts, and all the clans that have obtained a part have the chance to grasp this Supreme Tao, Chikuin Star Lord said slowly. This urgency in the human civilization officials' releasing of that body part lies in their reasons. Human evolvers can comprehend the body, and so can the strong beings of other races, meaning that the few powerful clans who have acquired parts of the body are jointly competing for the slot of becoming a Supreme Being. Such an opportunity, in over 2 million years of human civilization's history, is rare, Chikuin Star Lord remarked, feeling emotional, as none of the 9 Supreme Beings of human civilization had become what they were without multiple attempts, and their evolutionary path had undergone numerous adjustments. Unlike now, where if one can comprehend the Tao within the body, one could have a direct path to becoming a Supreme Being. Of course, saying it's a direct path is somewhat exaggerated, but at least much more hopeful than the vast majority of evolvers of becoming a Supreme Being. Teacher, why don't you comprehend it? Lin Yuan paused before asking. I'm at the pinnacle of the 8th layer and my path is set. That body part is of no use to me. Even if I comprehended the path of that Bodhi's owner, I could not compete with other strong beings. Chikuin Star Lord shook his head slightly. That body part is very strange, containing many paths that are incorrect with hidden dangers, Chikuin Star Lord explained. Returning to the 13 Peaks Great Hall. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged. The Supreme Being's Tao. Lin Yuan's eyes glowed deeply. In the main world universe Starry Sky, Supreme Beings were the ceiling of combat power. Human civilization, with its 9 Supreme Beings, proudly oversaw the Starry Sky races. But, Supreme Beings can die? Lin Yuan thought to himself. This involved the secrets of the Supreme Being's level, and even as the Peak Master of the 13 Peaks and a 7th level citizen, he could not find any specific information. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 386. The location for comprehending that part of the body, is it in the virtual world? Did 9 of the Supreme Beings of our human civilization pay some price to replicate 3/10 of that Bodhi's essence into the virtual world? Lin Yuan, having received the information, silently thought to himself. This was also to facilitate the human evolvers in their contemplation. Otherwise, to comprehend that part of the body, one would have to travel to the central star domain, which would take a long time. However, the virtual world simplifies many things. One only needs to connect their consciousness to enter. Half a day later, Lin Yuan suddenly received an invitation. Would you like to enter virtual world number 124354? Enter. Lin Yuan immediately chose to agree. To facilitate human evolvers in comprehending that part of the body, the virtual world had specially opened up many worlds, distributing all evolvers across numerous worlds. After all, with such a large number, it's better to manage them separately. Each world has a dedicated manager to check the progress of each evolver's contemplation. When Lin Yuan opened his eyes, he found himself at the top of a mountain peak. Looking around, mountains surrounded him on all sides, and each peak was occupied by 10 to 20 evolvers. Most are 7th rank evolvers, with a minority being 6th rank, and there are even some 8th rank evolvers. Lin Yuan took one glance and took in their various auras. The first batch of human evolvers to contemplate that body part were essentially the geniuses of a star domain. Like Lin Yuan, like the 12 disciples of the Chiquan Star Lord. And likewise, being geniuses upon entering different comprehension worlds, a second division occurred. Geniuses among geniuses like Lin Yuan, publicly under 100 years old and already at 7th rank, would naturally be grouped with talents who ascended to the 7th rank between 100 to 1,000 years old. You are the 13 peak master of the Red Kuan lineage, right? At that moment, a voice came from nearby. Lin Yuan glanced over. The speaker was a stalwart man. His physique as perfect as if sculpted, exuding an extreme sharpness just by standing there. He was an evolver from the Nine-Sword Star domain named Gao Wufeng, the most valued disciple of the Nine-Sword Star Master, who had stepped into the 7th rank at 430 years old and now was at the peak of the 7th rank king level. In terms of strength, this Gao Wufeng far surpassed the great peak master of the Red Kuan lineage. Yes, that's me. Lin Yuan nodded. Now, the evolvers able to contemplate that body part all started from the 6th rank, with no need to worry about assassination from different species, so there was also no need to hide one's identity. At the same time, the other evolvers on this mountain also began murmuring quietly among themselves. That's the 13 peak master? Is that the freak from the Chiquan Star domain who stepped into the 7th rank before the age of 100? Indeed a freak. I have a special constitution and have awakened the ancestral bloodline, supported intensely by my family, yet I only reached the 7th rank at over 600 years old. How exactly did this 13 peak master do it? I heard that this 13 peak master doesn't have any special constitutional bloodline enhancement. Freakish, too freakish. The evolvers able to participate in the first batch all hailed from significant backgrounds and were rare talents even within their own star domains, possessing considerable pride. However, upon seeing Lin Yuan, they harbored no thoughts of comparison. After all, stepping into the 7th rank before the age of 100 without any physical or bloodline enhancements was truly terrifying. In terms of talent, Lin Yuan reckoned he might leave his name in the annals of human civilization. How much do you know about this contemplation session, 13 peak master? Gao Wufeng from the Nine-Sword Star domain asked quietly on the side. My teacher mentioned it's related to the supreme beings. Lin Yuan said directly. Since there was no need to hide this fact, the teacher of Gao Wufeng before him, the Nine-Sword Star Master, also had combat power akin to the Chiquan Star Lord, another invincible existence at the 8th layer. Supreme beings, Gao Wufeng sighed. As pillars of the human civilization, who wouldn't want to become the next supreme being? With your talent 13 peak master, you should shine in this session, Gao Wufeng said. It's not that easy. After all, it's a part of a supreme being's body. If it were just about talent, there would have been no need to make it public. Just let the batch with the highest talent and gifts comprehend it privately. Lin Yuan shook his head and said, Shursan Peak Master is right. A woman with golden wings approached, her entire being enveloped in an infinite radiance, emanating a holy aura. Zhuoguang. Gao Wufeng looked toward the woman with golden wings. This woman, named Zhuoguang, had awakened the light elf bloodline. The elf bloodline was an exceptionally powerful branch within the human bloodline system, especially adept at comprehending rules. The light elf bloodline had an innate affinity for the rules of light, and the concentration of Zhuoguang's bloodline was astoundingly high. Moreover, both her parents were high-priced evolvers of the human civilization, who spared no effort in nurturing her. Zhuoguang stepped into the 7th rank when she was only 362 years old. Shursan Peak Master. Suqiuguang looked towards Lin Yuan, a smile appearing on her face. Gao Wufeng also nodded slightly. In terms of innate talent, Suqiuguang was even stronger than he was. The three of them sat together, exchanging ideas, while other evolvers on top of the mountain subconsciously kept their distance from them. All right. Just then, a massive figure appeared under the sky, casting an indifferent glance at the evolvers on numerous mountain peaks. Next, I need to remind you of a few things. First, in this world, both your physical souls are standardized at the first rank. Do not attempt to recover or synchronize your strength. Second, regardless of which evolution path you comprehend from that segment of the body, do not cultivate it in reality, but first in the virtual world. Third, it's forbidden to cultivate any evolution path other than what's comprehended from that segment of the body. Fourth, boldly seek to comprehend. Even if you die due to some accident, the Supreme Being will resurrect you. After saying this, the massive figure ceased to speak. At the mountain peaks, the evolvers, hearing this, immediately started whisper discussions. Fruabnal. Calm. It seems comprehending that segment of the body will be very dangerous, Gao Wufeng said softly. Indeed. Lin Yuan nodded. Otherwise, they wouldn't forbid practicing the evolution paths comprehended in reality, nor would there be resurrection by the Supreme Being if one unfortunately died. Using the resurrection trump card means it definitely won't be smooth sailing. Wanting to become a Supreme Being, how could it not involve risks? Zuoqiwang's expression was filled with a fighting spirit. From a young age, she had been obsessed with cultivation, longing to become the strongest. And in the human alliance, in the cosmic starry skies, only a Supreme Being dares call themselves the strongest. All right, good luck. The massive figure under the sky disappeared. In its place was a segment of a body. For a moment, even the light seemed to dim. All the evolver's attention was focused on that body segment. Is that a part of a Supreme Being's body? Lin Yuan looked up as well. As Lin Yuan observed the body segment, an invisible pressure began to suppress down, crushing his spirit will. What is this? Lin Yuan's expression shifted slightly. Under this suppression, as the observation time elapsed, the oppression on Lin Yuan's spirit will gradually intensified. Is this the power of a Supreme Being? Merely a fraction of a body, even a virtual copy, yet retaining only 30% of its power, can cause such great spiritual oppression to me? Lin Yuan marveled inwardly. He glanced around at others, noticing they too wore serious expressions, enduring the natural spiritual oppression emitted by the body segment. However, this type of suppression is actually a good place to forge spirit will. Lin Yuan's spirit stirred. Even his teacher Chikuan Starlord, far surpassing him in power, couldn't exert such immense pressure on spirit will. Perhaps with this suppression, my mental will index could break through 10,000 points in a short period? Lin Yuan thought to himself. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Legend of the Vagabond YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.